And we're live. Good morning. Rise and freedom. I'm Austin Peterson. You're watching and listening to the Wake Up America show on the 4 Liberty Network. Happy Valentine's Day. I love you guys. Thank you so much to everybody who's watching right now live, who was a part of the saga, the 8 days of pain. My account on X gets hacked by crypto scammers. They run scams, they run schemes. 8 days go by. They've got access to all of my information. I'm freaking out. Can't sleep right. It's a big part of my business plan. Everything is resolved. The account has been restored. Yes, it's me, the real AP. I'm the real AP. I'm the real AP. All you other real APs are just imitating. Although I did come up with a really nice alt. People were kind of looking at my X and saying, the backup account is actually kind of based as well. Maybe you should keep that one. Maybe I will. Happy Valentine's Day to the smokinest, hottingest, redheadingest Peterson of all. Maybe she'll have a little bit from a little competition for me.
Valentine's Day. My little headphones are hiding the gift that you got me, which is Sakura earrings.
Oh yeah, show them your earrings. Yes, nice.
See?
Very nice.
They're so pretty. They're pretty pink Sakura cherry blossom earrings.
Valentine's Day can be a tough day because not everybody's got somebody to love. Can anybody find me?
Well, that's why it's
Somebody
good to love yourself.
Ooh.
Treat yourself.
Self-love is sin. It is masturbation. No!
I mean, before I had a person in my life to love me, like romantically, my mom would give me gifts and my grandmother would give me gifts. So I think it was a family holiday almost. And when you go to school, you do Valentine's, you give them to your friends, you get candy. So growing up as a child, you don't really need a companion. But as an adult, unless you're in a workplace that gives out Valentine's, which that's very rare, you are going to feel kind of alone.
Yeah, it looks like we've had a bit of a frozen camera issue here on the show, which is sometimes a catastrophic error. We're just going to go to a break. They can probably still hear us. Yeah, they can still hear us. But the screen...
Oh, it's just the GoPro, isn't it?
No, it's the, unfortunately, it's the camera switcher. I think it's restorable, guys. But here is the story. It's a possibility I might have to do a whole stream shutdown. We shall see. But if so, I will try and reconnect. I'm going to the intro video, the standby screen. We'll be right back. Take 2. We're back.
Hi.
Hi, beautiful. Good morning, pineapples.
Good morning. You're always so sweet to me.
Aw, I
And
love
you
my
know,
wife.
these past 8 days, although they were very stressful, I felt this energy inside of me coming out from my AP for U.S. Senate days. Back then, you even had me muted because I was so very obnoxious. And I felt that I just channeled that annoying energy once more, and it felt so good to just be tagging everybody under the sun with your name.
Yeah, it felt very much like my U.S. Senate campaign in 2018, for sure. Steffi?
Right. We had so many people behind us. And I know we were talking last night that, maybe we annoyed some people. And I said to you, you know what? I really don't think we annoyed that many people because these people wanted to help us. Like Agatha Topian, I saw you every day retweeting, commenting, posting. You were a champion, as well as Carmela. Is that her name? Carmelina?
Carmelina,
yes. My goodness. And Reveal of Liberty, Matthew. He was literally praying for us, writing special prayers for us.
I know.
I mean, the community truly came together during that time. Justin Amash even tweeted out.
I didn't see that one coming. But You know what I did see? Did you see a lot of the responses underneath Justin's post about
they were mean to you?
Well, do you remember that one person said he won't be missed? And you know what's funny? I was missed.
Oh, you were?
Yeah, I was. It was. I was like, because what a hateful, awful thing to say.
Yeah.
It kind of like, it's like if you're dead, right? When you've been almost cast out of the tribe in a sense. It's like, that's why the scapegoating someone used to mean death if you cast someone out of the tribe.
Yeah.
So when this woman said, he won't be missed, and other people would be like, I'm glad he's gone. No, don't. And then one person was calling out Justin hardcore for even daring to defend me, right? Because
I was honestly surprised he defended you. But I've met him one time before, and he's a really nice guy, very personable, and I know he likes you.
Yeah. Well, he was the only kind of major libertarian who I would say stuck his neck out for me, but he just during my campaigns actually said nice things about me in public, right? All the other libertarians Rand and Massey and all these guys, they knew who I was. They knew that I was running, but it just to even signal support in any way for someone who may or may not have a chance to win politically is most politicians don't do that. And the ones who do, they will always have my utmost respect. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Because to just stick your neck out like that is not, it's not the safe thing to do. It's always a risky thing to do. And I got to give Justin Amash mad kudos. He did.
Absolutely. And it's so sad because that's just how the world works. The people that don't help you, the people that just turn their eyes in another direction.
You could see
those
it too.
are usually the people that make it big in this world, unfortunately. For example, we kept asking all of these large accounts that were also hacked, how did you get your account back? Can you just tell us anything? And radio silence. And the thing is for us, so in all honesty, how we got our account back, we have no idea. I think it was just us spamming the crap out of Elon, the employees.
The creator of Dilbert.
Yes.
He was I asked him, I was like, this is a long shot. I said, but because he follows me on X.
Yeah.
And Scott Adams, he's as a matter of fact, it was funny. He's the only account that I subscribe to and pay.
I know.
Right. And
which I'm so surprised. I've never heard you talk about him.
I just kind of admire him. I mean, it's funny. You're like, are you a big Dilbert fan? And I'm like, well, kind of. I mean, I like the comic. I enjoyed reading it over the years. But Scott Adams, I really resonate with him. He apparently too. He has a staffer who follows me on X, and he reposts me a lot and stuff. So I think they're kind of listening and watching my stuff as well.
Aww.
Just because he is someone that his assistant is someone that I've interacted with on X a lot. But I just asked Scott Adams. I said, "Hey, do you know anybody at X who could help us out?" And he said no, but he reposted it to his 1 million followers. And then it wasn't long after that it happens. Correlation is not causation necessarily. We were annoying a lot of people, but
it was right after
I called my congressman. I called Bob Onder.
Wow.
I messaged him. I was like, "Yo, Bob, what's up? Help me out."
It was right after you messaged all of those really large accounts. You just started putting it out there, "Hey, I don't know if you're going to see this, but can you please help us?" And right after that, that's when things really worked out.
Yeah. Jimmy Joe Patty over in the chat. First time we've seen his name. I love saying we like to shout out the newbies in the chat.
Absolutely.
What's up? He's got an interesting question here too, or a statement maybe, or request. Says, FYI, my current issue is movies shooting overseas. A-list stars are flying all over to shoot film and TV shows that are set in the USA, leaving us crew members behind. Can we get a Trump tariff? I want a Trump tariff on Georgia because Ozarks are in Missouri and they filmed that in the woods in Georgia. I want a Georgia tariff. Missouri movies got to be made in Missouri, damn it.
Yes.
I don't know, man.
That's some sort of falsification for sure.
Yes. Here, it's funny because like now I'm working on producing this shoot.
I know.
I'm finally like the guy, the shot caller, up in the holler, get late tonight. But it feels good to like be in this situation where it's like you have actual power.
Yes.
When I was producing television and movies that I've made in the past and radio, of course, like you're the talent, like you're somebody's bitch. That's what it is. You are somebody's bitch.
I like to be that. I've always liked to be that. I always wanted to be a roadie.
A roadie, yes.
Yes.
You're not a bitch.
People would treat me like that, though.
Yeah, well, you know, it's nice to be a producer. We watched The Producers the other day, and I was like joking about how this is how it'll be for us, right? But obviously it's not a fraud for them. The whole, you've seen The Producers before, right? Because
yeah, you and I have watched it before.
Yeah, Spider-Man was filmed in Cleveland, says Sign of Jonah. Well, I knew that movie was ass for a reason.
And Game of Thrones, we've been watching Game of Thrones. It has been filmed in multiple locations, like out in Europe, I think Scandinavia. They have really beautiful scenery.
Yeah. So do we have Justin on the show today, Stephanie?
I thought so. Did he say yes?
He did say yes.
Yay!
So Justin will be here at 8 a.m. Central Time. Luke asks, isn't the documentary which takes place in Tennessee being shot in Missouri? Oh, he got me.
Well, in our defense, we did go directly to Athens, Tennessee, where the event happened, and we got lots of footage there.
Okay, stop your booze. Okay, yes. Now, Tennessee's going to put a tariff on Missouri, stop our production over there. Very good. Good catch, Luke.
It's not our fault that the original buildings cannot be shot in.
Yeah, they tore it down. Yeah,
exactly.
The jail doesn't exist. So there's one that looks just like it here in Boonville, Missouri. So it's perfect. Right. It's perfect. We're going to have Justin on the show today. And just a fair warning, guys, give me a little technical slack this morning because whatever the camera freeze thing is and the reset that I had to do, it's preventing me from like setting up my beautiful scenes like I normally would with the show today. So it might look a little janky, but you'll see us. We'll be here. We'll be together. You know, hold hands. Then just see that virtual camera that's dead over there in the preview monitor. If I took that live right now, it would look like joy. So hopefully I'll be able to like on the fly during the live show set up this camera feed to that. It's just not going to
You are capable.
Yeah,
I believe in you.
I'm doing this shit on the fly.
I've been saying you have so much chutzpah.
What are you talking about?
You
Valentine?
really do. Well, this is the first time I've been on the show since you went to that hearing and you stared that senator woman in the face. That would have been terrifying.
It was.
And while you were giving your testimony, you also put a bag of our coffee and your Gulf of America tumbler on the desk with you. How confident is that? I would be shaking in my boots, worried that I was going to annoy someone.
Well, you know what just pisses me off was that they were getting all upset with it, like, oh, he's just engaging in commerce. But the point of it was, if they would have let me gotten a word in, they're all like, ugh. They were just like, even the Republicans, I felt like, were offended by my presence. You know what I mean? And like, oh, here he is, a creature of commerce and all this stuff. It's like, I wanted to point out, where does the money come from? Guys, where do you think, because, most of them are fucking lawyers, right. Stephanie. They're lawyers. These are people who they couldn't sell smack to anybody. We have to work so hard to sell one mug. And then we get lucky sometimes. We get like bulk orders. That
And
for
we
us,
pay taxes on that
and
mug.
we got to pay all the damn
The sales
taxes,
tax.
the sales taxes, the payroll taxes, the federal income tax, the federal state tax. I was trying to explain to them, I'm like, I'm a member of the middle class, but because I engage in commerce, I am a broad net taxpayer across the spectrum for all of the taxes I have to pay. You know, like people they get W-2s, they don't know that their employers have to pay taxes just for the privilege of having them there, right? Like every job that is created is a fucking miracle. It is a miracle that you can actually do it. The most valuable skill that anyone can have is to be able to take the labor of another person and produce more value out of the labor of that single person than what it costs for the work for that person to do it. To be able to actually create more value. That's the magical key. That's the key to capitalism, is to be able to scale, produce at scale, and to take, what one product is, because nobody knows how to make a pizza. What do I got to do? Buy a forge and make this right here and find iron in my backyard if I have no enough property to make something like this? No, it's through the system of trade, international trade.
Yep.
And of...
Yeah, I was seeing Hawthorne Heights, the band, they actually have their own press to make their own merchandise. I was just seeing that actually this morning. So some people do take it upon themselves to make their own stuff. Like I know John Burke was making some wood projects for a while.
Yeah. Some people are asking about my testimony that I gave there at the Senate. I think most Senate...
Oh, we didn't get the audio last night.
Well,
I think it's available.
I hope it is. Let's see. I know they don't meet on Fridays like the federal side doesn't, but there is a media page on the Senate website. So I'll go there. Let's see if I'll find...
Unfortunately, I don't think they had video, which sucks because on video is way better.
Well, yes, video is my medium, but
Yes.
the audio itself would be good because I just put it like, I just dub over it or do some kind of like
Right.
picture so people could hear
Just
it.
put that senator
'Cause
woman's face, zooming in, zooming out.
Listen, you can't explain to people really who are so indoctrinated like that woman, Senator Washington. You can't explain to them in 3 minutes why taxation is theft.
Well,
right?
one of the questions she asked you was, what roads did you drive on to get here?
Oh, I said a private road.
Yes, because we do live on a private
Yes.
road. We are living in the libertarian dream world.
Amazing? Isn't it amazing? She's so highly educated. She was touting her education. She's so highly educated, and yet her base attack is always the most retarded leftist attack. Who will build the roads?
Yeah.
The roads. That's the left can't comprehend of a world. They think that's all that government does. And I mean, it's like, if that is all the government did, like we would not be having this conversation about income taxes and shit.
Right.
But I didn't have 3 minutes to sit there, and because they were hemmed
Oh,
and
they
hawed.
time you?
Yeah, I had like 3 minutes, three to 4 minutes, and they were. Even the Republicans were uncomfortable with my presence. And I could tell it's because, again, it's all like lawyers, and then it was like think tank flacks, of which Camelia is one, but we still love her because she's one of us.
Oh, she's in a think tank?
Yeah, she's
Americans
now
for
a registered
Prosperity?
lobbyist. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
she's a lobbyist.
She's now a registered
I
lobbyist.
didn't know
Yeah,
that.
she is.
What do
yes.
you have to,
It's
what
a
is the
whole
requirement to be a
process.
lobbyist?
It's a whole process you have to undergo, and then it's like,
Wow,
certain
congratulations, Camelia.
Yeah,
That's
no,
awesome.
she worked her way up, didn't she?
She did, but she still works for someone, and then she lobbies for them.
Yeah,
Okay,
Americans
I
for
see.
Prosperity, the Missouri branch. She lobbies for them. So it's so funny because when we first were friends, she was like, "I'm listening," she's like living out in the woods and just dipping her
Girl,
toes. Now
I
look how
remember
far she's
her when we
come.
would come into your radio studio, and then I would be a guest on the show. She would just be sneaking around, videotaping me. She did not want to be on camera. She did not want to be on the microphone. And then look at that. This is just complete opposite of that.
Yep.
It's amazing. Transformation.
Yep, we're going to speak to Justin at 8 a.m. Central Time about RFK Jr.'s MAGA agenda.
I'm not into RFK Jr.
Some people aren't. He's not everybody's cup of tea. I think he needed to be. I think there were certain policies that he supports that are important, and I think that because he's more a functional tool in many ways against the left and of converting the left, because a lot of liberals kind of came over to the Republican Party through RFK Jr. So I think, he's useful as a voice, and he's for free speech and against COVID tyranny, and there's a lot of things I really like. about RFK Jr. But yeah, I mean, from a strict libertarian perspective, I mean, he's really not kind of your guy. Trump is actually more libertarian than he is in many ways.
Nowadays.
Yeah, isn't it weird? Which is kind of weird. But RFK Jr., I think, I think he'll do a lot of good things. I think he'll propose some stupid things, and I'll oppose them, just like I oppose tariffs, right? You know, Alejandro, my buddy from Argentina, you know, online yesterday.
Oh, yeah, he also helped us a lot in getting your account back.
He did. He did. But, you know, he said this time around, it's a lot. The Trump administration is just so much better than the last administration. It's like 60% people, because Alejandro argues that Trump doesn't have any ideology. He says that it's not about ideology. It's about the people who are around Trump that matter.
Oh yeah.
And so, since 60% of the people that are surrounding Trump are pretty damn good people, like Missouri's own Will Scharf, by the way, like right next door.
He was standing right next to Elon Musk the other day.
Yeah, it was so fun to watch the two of them like stand there together. And I'm like, Will is probably just having the absolute time of his life right now. You know, and what a consolation prize, you know, to not win the Attorney General's race here in Missouri, but you know, to go to the White House.
I would take that.
Oh yeah, I mean, good for you, Will Scharf, and he's has several times been on here on our show.
I know.
Establishing the president's Make America Healthy Again Commission released February 13th. The executive order vested in President Trump, the Constitution of the United States. It talks about the purpose, about American life expectancy, the concerns about life expectancy.
I'm concerned about life expectancy.
Sure.
You always tell me that it's, what is it for men, 70-something?
The average life expectancy for men in the United States, which kind of comes as a shocker for a lot of people, is 72 years old.
That's terrible. My dad is 70.
Yeah. My dad is 82.
I know. So he has certainly outlived that.
Yes. So, I mean, my uncle, Bobby, when he passed away a few years ago, I think he was like 72 or he was like 70. He was like 72 or 73. And I was shocked by his death because I know he had a fall and everything. But it just he seemed so vital and young and healthy and you know. Yeah,
I mean, I'm sure he would have lived a lot longer if he hadn't fell. I would think so.
But you know what? They say that if you fall after a certain age, then that's like the leading predictor. If they say that most people who fall, it's like 6 months later.
Yeah. Yeah, and I can actually confirm that because when I was at the hospital, I actually heard like the chief medical doctor say, once you break a hip, that's the slippery slope to death.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, my grandma Rose, she defied that. She was such a vital person. She was, I mean, she squeezed the juice out of, got every last drop out of life. I remember my dad, I think at one time, and this had happened to her partially before, she got caught in the door of the truck and as she was getting out, and Dad was just didn't think. He started backing up while her dress hem had gotten caught, and so she kind of got dragged for just a moment. And
what the heck?
And I think she got harmed from that. It was like her arm was in a little cast. But then there was another
I would have
incident.
been pissed.
Well, no, she would not be. She would never be angry at her child. She knew for what she knew was an accident.
I know.
She was just full of love and sweetness and kindness. But at another time, you know, because she spent almost all of her free time in church.
Yes.
Another time, I think she was walking down the thing to church, and it was slippery as she was walking down the pews, between the pews. And she slipped and put both her hands out and snapped both her wrists, I think, in the same place. And it was just terrible seeing both of her hands put in rest. But she lived. She kept going, man. I mean, it was like, you know, until I think she was 99. Yeah. I think Grandma Rose was 99.
Wow. So you've got good genes in your family.
Yeah, but, you know, Peterson boys, we tend to live fast and rough and, you know, leave behind a corpse. Because Grandpa, he got in a car accident. Grandpa
right. So it's like these accidents, right? And that's what lowers the life expectancy. But accidents, you know, they're natural, but they're not truly a natural death, right?
Yeah, sort of.
So genetics really would have possibly kept these people alive a lot longer.
Well, here's what I think happens. And this is probably not going to be a satisfactory explanation. It might be a little bit oversimplified. But I just think it's that Yeah, the injury definitely is what hastens it. But the fact that you're old, you can't see as well, you're more careless, you just, you take risks that maybe you shouldn't take because you're not necessarily in a good frame of mind, or, people are obstinate. I wouldn't want to give up my ability to drive and to be mobile and to get around. So a lot of them are kind of like, I'm going to do what I want anyway. You know what I mean? And it's like, you really ought to probably think about your family before you go get all, have 85-year-old grandpa driving everybody around in the van. You know what I mean? Can't somebody else do this? But some people don't have people to do it. Some people don't have family to do it. Some people, and they slip and fall. My grandpa Grandpa Wilburn Reichel, he was the one. He passed away because this is wild. So apparently this is a thing. Shoveling snow.
Oh yeah.
Shoveling snow. And they say that it's the action of lifting the snow above your heart.
Yeah, we were watching a doctor, I think, on a reel, and she was explaining how to push the snow so you don't have a heart attack.
Yes. But it's like you have to stay active. So Grandma Rose, she would walk. She would walk all the time. She would get out of her house and she would walk. A lot of oldsters will stay sedentary, right? And it's you got to get off of the couch and you got to get out and around, because it's just like you start to like mold into the chair. You know what I mean? You start to kind of like your body just starts to break down. That's why it's so important to like go for walks. We should do it more. We do work out, but you need to add in getting up from your desk and just getting the blood flowing to your head, walking around. It's good for it's good for everything. Yeah. It's a good conversation to be having, making America healthy again. I think that people really need to be open-minded. You have to be willing to change your mind if evidence contradicts what you believe. So for example, Anna Paulina Luna, she's like that smoking hot 10 who like was in the MAGA bikini stuff all this years ago. Yeah. Now she's a member of Congress.
Oh my gosh.
So she said, so people are kind of attacking her in the last few days, and she said some stuff that I think is kind of Looney Tunes. But one of the things she said was that, and she's looking at the JFK files, right? And
are those released yet?
So apparently there's a little scandal. Apparently there were some that were found that were not reported, which makes people kind of go, what the heck? This is suspicious, because they're supposed to have identified all the documents that exist. But now that like there's a new sheriff in town and Trump is like, I want this stuff declassified, they have to admit they have all these other documents that have been stowed that they need to also declassify, because he's demanded all documents related to it come out. And of course, RFK Jr. is chomping at the bit to find out, if there was really something malign outside of, the official story of what happened. And Anna Paulina Luna yesterday got up and said that she believes there were two shooters.
Oh, I saw somebody talking about that on Twitter.
Which is a squishy. Brad says 2,400 new files. Thank you. They blamed it on moving to an electronic system. I mean, never attribute to malice what could easily be explained by incompetence.
But you always say the simple answer is usually the most likely answer.
Like, be careful before you start. Here's the thing. I've got the guy who wrote the book here. You know what I mean? I recommend this book because it doesn't say conspiracy theories aren't real, but what it shows you are what the type of conspiracies there are. It's by Michael Shermer, and he's kind of like my type of libertarian. He's a little bit more classical liberal than I am necessarily. I'm more minarchist, but Michael Shermer, he's a science author, and he's been studying conspiracy theories for years. He starts the book by talking about a cult that he joined for a little while to like get inside and kind of find out what they were all about.
That's cool.
It's fun. And it was kind of like, it's a nice cult. Like some cults are kind of like, the hippie Jesus happy, like, spaceship aliens we don't need to kill ourselves and stuff.
Right.
And he talks about types of errors in thinking. And so it'll make you much more skeptical. He was the publisher of Skeptic magazine for a number of years, but I keep it on the desk just because conspiracies are a really big thing now.
Oh yeah.
And so when Anna Paulina Luna says, she believes there were two shooters, why would you say you believe there are two shooters? Why do I need you to believe it? Okay, like you believe in Jesus Christ as your savior and all that kind of stuff. But that's an act of faith. That's not evidence. When you say I believe there were two shooters, if you have the documents, don't you know there are two shooters? Can you prove there are two shooters? Yeah. Are you saying there are two shooters? Or are you taking advantage of people's willingness to believe that there are two shooters because your ass needs more attention because you trade on your tits and ass anymore. You're in Congress and now people have to actually take you seriously. Or you can take advantage of people their brains are just spun up in this stuff. Did we freeze again? We froze again. Can they hear us? They can hear us, but they can't see us. All right, so here's the deal, guys. I'm going to go to a brief little commercial break. I'm going to fix this camera situation once for all. I'll be right back. It's a Wake Up America show on the 4 Liberty Network. Go shopping, 4libertyshop.com. We'll be right back. Tired of spending your hard-earned money on woke corporations that don't share your pro-freedom values? Fed up with
Are you tired of the strange radioactive effects of leftist culture? Do you ever wonder what happened to good old-fashioned American values? Well, fear no more, because there's a new force fighting back against the cultural rot of today. Introducing Culturama, a right-of-center talk show that's taking back the future today. Hosted by none other than blonde bombshell herself, Daniela Pensack. She's not just talking, she's taking culture back. With sharp takes, brilliant guests, and a few surprises along the way. Tune in to the live video podcast twice a week, because the future doesn't have to be weird. It can be Culturama.
If there wasn't going to be somebody who was a fiery champion of liberty, somebody who would get out there and who would be aggressive, and if they wouldn't do it with more fire or passion than I had, then I would go and I would fight this battle for us. I've fought for the principles that we all share. Parties tend to be secondary to me. We're here because we believe in the principles of liberty. I am not a perfect messenger, but I think I'm a damn good one. This is a replica of our first president's flintlock pistol. You have my full support, my respect, and my gun.
I think that the heart of my philosophy is much more libertarianism than well, that's the fashionable word these days, I guess. A conservative is no longer just that. He's a libertarian, and always has been.
Yet any time you and I question the schemes of the do-gooders, we're denounced as being against their humanitarian goals. They say we're always against things, we're never for anything.
There's rumors out there that as many as 50% of the employees of HHS will be cut in the restructuring of government that DOJ is helping President Trump carry out, and people are wringing their hands. Your response to that?
I don't know anything about 50% of people being cut. There's 90,000 employees. I would be surprised. Well, I mean, I think the lower level employees at HHS, most of them are public spirited, good public servants, good American patriots, and hardworking people. What I'm interested in are moving away the people who have made really bad decisions. For example, on the nutrition guidelines, people who have, there's people at NIH that were involved in the amyloid plaque scandals that derailed Alzheimer's treatment for 20 years. It's all corruption. Those kind of people need to be moved.
Do you have a list of people that you already know need to be removed and quickly?
I have a list in my head, and we have a generic list of the kind of people that, if you've been involved in good science, you got nothing to worry about. if you care about public health, you got nothing to worry about. If you're in there working for the pharmaceutical industry, then I'd say you should move out and work for the pharmaceutical industry.
Oh, why not? Just make it official.
Wow, that's a pretty big statement there.
The word good science, that sounds so subjective and yet so objective at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't know the definition of good science.
Yeah, it's a tough one. Stephanie, so unfortunately, because of the way that everything's set up in our show, we're going to lose like our cameras. As soon as we bring Justin in, like we're not able to kind of like operate on our proper wavelength here, essentially. So there might be a chance that we have to shut down the stream and then restart it entirely. Don't be upset. Sometimes the gremlins just get inside and you have to do a full reset. But I think it's possible for me to just come right back if I do a hard reset of the show. So I'm just going to give it a shot. Hang out here. If you don't see us in like 5 minutes or less, just refresh my rumble.com/AP for Liberty, and we'll be right back, okay? So wish me luck. Hopefully we'll see you on the other side, okay? Here we go. Tired of spending your hard-earned money on woke corporations that don't share your pro-freedom values? Fed up with sipping liberal lattes and progressive cappuccinos? Introducing Founding Flavors from AP for Liberty Shop. Tired of spending your hard-earned money on woke corporations that don't share your pro-freedom values? Fed up with sipping liberal lattes and progressive cappuccinos? Introducing Founding Flavors from AP for Liberty Shop. Get your day started with Washington's Revolutionary Roast. As robust and principled as the man himself, this blend is the shot of energy heard round the world. Or maybe you want to taste the fervor of freedom with Adams's Patriotic Perk. It's as dynamic and balanced as the U.S. Constitution, sure to awaken your spirit of liberty. For the aficionados, we've got the Jeffersonian Java, a complex mix of flavors that speaks volumes about your refined tastes. And don't forget Betsy's Liberty Lullaby, our decaf option, crafted with the same care and dedication Betsy Ross put into our Star-Spangled Banner. This blend lets you enjoy the taste of freedom anytime without losing sleep. No woke beans here, folks. Just pure, patriotic, pro-freedom flavors brewed with love for liberty. So why compromise your principles for a cup of coffee? Stand up for your values, perk up your patriotism, and start your day the American way. Get your Founding Flavors at apforlibertyshop.com. You see that?
Sí, yo pensé
No.
Watch. Here's this kayaker.
Oh, So his entire boat went inside of the whale?
A humpback
Sí, yo
whale.
pensé que me había comido ya y que me había tragado, pero...
Yes, I
claro,
thought it had
yo
eaten and swallowed me, but of course I felt maybe it was a killer whale. We've been talking about orcas shortly
sentía
before,
que
so I
quizás
had that
era
in my
una
head.
orca,
Look
habíamos
at this.
estado hablando de orcas poco antes, entonces tenía eso en la cabeza. Pero ya cuando salí entendí
When I got
que,
out, I understood, of course,
que
it
claro,
was probably
probablemente era por curiosidad.
out
que
of
se había
curiosity the
acercado
whale
la
approached me,
ballena.
or maybe to communicate something.
Wait,
Yes.
so that's the man in the yellow kayak there?
Yeah, he got.
So he went in with the kayak
the
and came out with the kayak.
The humpback whale swallowed the whale, or swallowed the person.
And his boat, because he came back out with his boat.
Yeah,
That's so
it
crazy.
It popped him out. It swallowed him, and then popped him out. Good morning, guys. Welcome to the Wake Up America show. We're back. Yeah.
Oh, I love watching these kinds of videos. Austin and I, we watch lots of scuba videos, boating videos.
Oh, yeah.
Things that have to do with the water.
Happy Valentine's Day, everybody.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Yeah, we love those. We love those videos of the people who are going out the inlets and the waves are really high.
Yes.
And their boats start sinking, and they're like, "Ah, help me!" And then, like,
And usually they're like really pretty rich women on these boats, and it's
Yes.
funny to see them panicking.
just like people said they were glad that I was suffering because my ex was banned. Well, now
Yes.
I'm back. But you know what? You said that last night. You're like, now I see what it's like to suffer like the little people.
I really did. I felt like I was a poor person in a rich man's world because I
Explain
was
that.
like,
Explain that. What are you talking about?
so when you lost account access after being hacked, I thought because you have so many followers, you have a premium account, you pay for your account, I thought X would rescue you very quickly, just like they did with all these other hacked accounts.
Brandon Straka and Julie
Right,
Kelly, they got their
right.
accounts back like right
Exactly.
away.
And one of the guys who got his accounts back said that Twitter or X called him personally to tell him he was hacked. Who is doing this up at the top there? And so I was tugging at these people's pant legs like, please, sir, can you give me a crumb?
A crumb of attention and give my husband back his account, please.
Truly. And these people were ignoring me, shooing me away.
Oh, some of them were actually. One ex-engineer was making fun of someone
Oh, he
who
was.
contacted him via his Shopify account.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
it was like a string of AI of hacks
Yeah.
against accounts, and he was making fun of the person for contacting
Right. And he's
him.
like, he didn't even buy any of my merch at my shop. It's Kettlebell Dan.
yeah,
And he's all into his exercising and working
yeah,
out
he's got
and
like
selling
his whole
his
thing
merch.
going on, and it's like,
Yes.
okay, so then what do you? You're an engineer at X, like how is this? Is this operation just a front group for people to feel cool and be on like a team, but then nothing gets done over there? And man, don't get me started with what happened. Like my advertising contact over there, because I spend money on X, and
Yeah.
then like they don't respond and stuff like that. It's just been business wise, it's been an absolute nightmare.
But yes,
Unfortunately.
Talking about, though, what it feels like to be a poor person or an underprivileged person in a world of really successful people, it does make you feel alone.
Yeah.
I mean, I was like, is anyone even listening to me?
They were. You know what?
Yes.
Because the thing is that like it's weird. It's like we really have a lot of support from like regular people.
And
you
we're
know?
so blessed in that because I know most people don't have the audience that we have. And
Oh,
so
yeah.
they're
We're
even
lucky.
more, I want to say down Schitt's Creek, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like Susan, I believe her name is.
Susan.
Susan.
Yeah. Here in Missouri.
She
yeah.
had lost her account as well.
Same thing
And like
happened to her.
she's fighting. And then there were some other people too who are like, I still haven't gotten my account back. And they were trying to help us. And these people, they have the biggest, kindest hearts.
Yes.
Because they put their own issues aside about their own account, and they were helping you.
Reveal of Liberty was like,
Oh, my
dude,
goodness.
he was distraught about what was
Reveal
going
of
on.
Liberty messaged us like the day before you were hacked, and he said, I'm leaving X. I just want to give you guys my contact information to stay in touch. And he was leaving. And then all of a sudden,
And then
when you got hacked, he came back and he started having a purpose, and he was like just fighting for us 100%.
It was amazing. It gave him a reason to fight, you know, and that's kind of what my campaigns were in 2016 and 2018 was to keep the liberty movement fighting, to keep it alive, to keep the ideas going. And I think a lot of people recognize, that we are, good faith actors, and they stepped up to help us, and the community really stepped up. I'm looking at Rumble. Looks like Rumble's stepping up for us too. Rumble's the only platform that has not only not suppressed us, not banned us, not ignored us. Rumble has actually reached out to us, helped us. Like, there's no way that we have 438 viewers this morning.
They must have boosted.
Yeah, Rumble must have boosted us.
And honestly, I tagged out to Siraj Hashmi. I tagged out to Rumble during your hacking issue, and I was like, please help us. Like, I didn't even know if Rumble has X connections.
They do at the top, but they're so busy in their own world, doing their own thing, and like you can't complain to Rumble about like something that's happened on X. You should be on Rumble. You should be on Rumble.
Yeah, they're like, what are you doing there?
Yeah, exactly. You should be on Rumble all the time, which we are. But we are on Rumble
because X doesn't pay us to make videos.
No, they don't. Rumble does.
Yes.
And Rumble cares. Rumble freaking cares about us. Rumble, when I got demonetized on YouTube, they reached out to me directly and said, "How can we help? We want the Wake Up America show on Rumble." They helped me set up the For Liberty Network on Locals. They have been like, they sit down, they talk through problems. There is no stupid question when I sit down and I have meetings with them. Sometimes, you're putting something together, it may seem like a stupid question to them, but to you, it's kind of like you're trying to unlock the keys to the kingdom here in some ways. But so we got to give it a big shout out to our friends at Rumble, because the fact that 500 people are watching us here on the Wake Up America show is because Rumble cares about its creators. Rumble cares about its creators.
Absolutely.
X, not so much.
Yes.
If you're like, if you got 800,000, a million people on your account, then yeah, you might get your account back in 24 hours. The rest of us peons will have to sit in the back and wait while hackers lay siege to your personal and professional information. And even worse, they're talking about releasing a wallet on the app. I'm sorry,
Don't do it.
Financial information, like, I mean, at that point, like, I know that they're slashing regulations in DC and all this stuff, but there's going to be like basic regulations, like the FDA. They're probably not going to get rid of the FDIC, although they're trying to do so. But I mean, at the end of the day, you can't caveat emptor somebody's wallet and expect that people are going to trust you and to put their actual bank account information with you and then say, "Oh, we'll get back to you in 8 or 9 days." I mean, you can't do that.
Yeah,
you just can't.
To be honest, if I was told Elon Musk is going to be our new leader and he's going to be in charge of everything, I don't know if I would want that. Just seeing how he handles leadership. Well, he just puts his hand in too many pots. I mean, he doesn't know how to make boundaries around work.
Well, here's the thing. I understand why. I get it. In some ways they attacked him. Like I saw it was a really funny Joe Rogan clip, and he said, you attacked the most powerful autistic. He just wanted to be left alone, and now you attacked him. So the left made a powerful enemy. So Elon just went out and he's like, "All right, if you guys are going to do this to me, I'm going to fight back." So I don't blame him, but I mean the strategy is, and this is what I've read, the strategy is that they want to fire so many people as fast as they can that they find out what they actually need because it's broken, and so people are complaining. And so then you actually start to hire people based on what you actually need.
So he wants to break things and then fix them.
Move fast, break things. That's the whole philosophy. Yes. So it's broken. The platform is broken in many ways. Right. So
that's not good. I don't think you should get rid of things until you know that they're not essential.
Don't second guess on this, because this is your scarcity mindset, right, versus the abundance mindset. It is a wise business decision to do, because you have to hack and slash in that way, because you're bleeding cash. When a company like X was losing money hand over fist, like this multi-billion-dollar company, they can't, if they want it to still be around and not be like Vine or something like, or MySpace or something, you had to make drastic changes and drastic cuts, and then rebuild from the rubble. In a sense, it's easier sometimes to bulldoze and then rebuild anew, right? Like the house that we're talking about, sometimes it's like all broken and messed up.
Yeah.
Are we going to be able to save that house, or are we going to have to rebuild it? So it's like, when it comes to X, clearly things are broken over there, and without some kind of change in security protocols, because it wasn't just that I was hacked, it was that when you asked for help or when you talk about being hacked on X, you get flooded with scams and fake and contact me. I can recover your account and all that kind of stuff. And it's like, yo, this is a dangerous community. And it's not the kind of thing, again, that you want to like tell your grandma, hey, grandma, you should be doing this kind of stuff. And like, you know, boomers will boomer, right? You know, I'm not a boomer, but I still got hacked. So, I mean, it's dangerous to normal people, and somebody like myself, I mean, forget it. It's just be careful with where you guys, be careful with your passwords, right? We don't think that we think this was a brute force attack that was done through a third party API, not some, they had my password or something like that. It was that they used like a third party app that we use for our social media stuff, and that they managed to tunnel in using that stuff. So that's where we think it came from.
Yeah.
So
many people were cutting you down. Do you use two-factor authentication?
Yeah, bitch. Yeah, dude.
Did you change your email address, your password? You know, like they're coming up with every little thing. And we're like, yes, we're not stupid.
Yeah, exactly. A buddy of ours went over to the shop this morning. He got himself some sweet merch, Steffi Weffy.
Oh, what did he get?
Happy Valentine's Day, you sexy little thing.
He's probably buying his lover some
He bought
Valentine's.
a mug he bought 2 mugs that like have not been seen or heard from in some time, actually.
Really?
Yeah, an AR-15 is just a spicy 22.
Nice.
It's the Stop Hoplophobia ceramic mug.
Whoa.
Do you know what hoplophobia is? Fear of weapons.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I don't remember.
Named
that.
after the hoplites, the hoplite farmers.
Wow.
Crusader Pepe mugs.
People love Pepe.
They do. They love Crusader Pepe too. The funny thing about the no bonus content today, Ashley, I was just taking a break on it for a couple of weeks. We'll get geared back up into bonus production in a while, but it was good to kind of like let it rest for a little while, because you're like putting people's arms up behind. They're like, give me money, damn it, right? So
at first I was thinking in my head this morning, I was like, should we share out the video I made for our wedding of our love story for Valentine's Day? I was like, that would be really great bonus content, but we'd have to upload it on your computer there.
Yeah, we might do that. Maybe we'll do that today, later. So make sure that you're following me on X. And now I have a spicy backup alt X account. We're going to talk with my brother Justin Peterson about Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s Maha movement here in less than 5 minutes. Andy Ruddick says, good show, my ninja. Love you, brother. Hope those tickets weren't too bad. Hope you take care of them so they don't bite you in the butt in the future somehow. Tickets?
Those tickets? What?
I'm not sure. But nice to see you too, Andy Ruddick. Welcome back.
I have no idea.
And Mighty Megatron is here. 721 people watching us live. Good morning, guys.
Okay. It's
getting serious. The Wake Up America show is a live 5-day-a-week fun show that we talk about news and politics. Fridays is a special day, though. We kind of goof around on Fridays, and we call it Freedom Family Fridays because my smoking hot, redheaded libertarian Valentine is here. Steffi Weffy. Glad to have you here. And there is a little redheaded baby around here somewhere, but she's sleeping now, and hopefully she will continue to sleep.
She was up at 4 a.m.,
Yes.
so she's getting her beauty.
Normally she wakes up like 5 minutes before 9 a.m. and then she's on the last 5 minutes of the show. But we'll let you guys know if she wakes up, she'll be here with us on the show. So we're going to have a great fun show today. It's Valentine's Day.
Yes.
And I'm bringing around surrounding myself with the people that I love the most in this world. And another person that I love the most in the world, my brother, Justin Peterson. Yay. We're going to talk to him about you came here because you liked RFK Jr.'s Maha agenda. They want to hear about RFK Jr.
Yes.
So we're going to talk about RFK Jr. with my brother, Justin Peterson. He's also a healthy, fitnessy lover kind of a guy, but he's also a skeptic like me. So we'll talk to him about that when we get back. Don't go away. It's the Wake Up America show on the 4 Liberty Network. Tired of spending your hard-earned money on woke corporations that don't share your pro-freedom values? Fed up with sipping liberal lattes and progressive cappuccinos? Introducing Founding Flavors from AP for Liberty Shop. Get your day started with Washington's Revolutionary Roast. As robust and principled as the man himself, this blend is the shot of energy heard round the world. Or maybe you want to taste the fervor of freedom with Adams's Patriotic Perk. It's as dynamic and balanced as the U.S. Constitution, sure to awaken your spirit of liberty. For the aficionado gelatos, we've got the Jeffersonian Java, a complex mix of flavors that speaks volumes about your refined tastes. And don't forget Betsy's Liberty Lullaby, our decaf option, crafted with the same care and dedication Betsy Ross put into our Star-Spangled Banner. This blend lets you enjoy the taste of freedom anytime without losing sleep. No woke beans here, folks. Just pure, patriotic, pro-freedom flavors brewed with love for liberty. So why compromise your principles for a cup of coffee? Stand up for your values, perk up your patriotism, and start your day the American way. Get your founding flavors at apforlibertyshop.com. Good morning, my little pineapples. Looking very good and very nice. Welcome to the Wake Up America Show. I'm your host, Austin Peterson. This is my wife, Stephanie Peterson. She's my Valentine.
I was just posting out our show.
Thank you.
Yes. Everyone else should do it too.
Yes.
Share out our show with all your friends and family.
Yeah, if you guys want to have something that's fun, that's healthy, that's entertaining, that's newsy, news-based, but just know that Fridays is a little goofy. We like to have a lot of fun here on the Wake Up America show. So if you do too, when you start your mornings, you want to start your morning on the right foot, positive, healthy, make America healthy again. The Wake Up America show. Are we on board with the MAHA agenda? We will see here in just a moment. But first, a word from our sponsors. Make sure you do click like. Make sure you do click follow, so you will get those notifications when we go live 5 days a week. But if you're looking for a great place for online news, not just here on Rumble, our friends over at True Social would like to remind you that Donald Trump's social media website is busting out all over. You'll get breaking news stories and commentary from top media figures. And if you want to see Trump's legendary Truth Social posts, you need to get on True Social today. I've got an account over there.
You do?
Yep. Join a growing community of patriots. That's you and me. On a free speech platform designed to avoid censorship and cancellation by big tech. Hopefully their security is better than X2, of course. Join the movement, join Truth Social. Thank you very much to Rumble Studio for making it all happen for us. The Wake Up America show wouldn't be the same. It wouldn't be Freedom Family Friday if it wasn't for my brother Justin Peterson on the show.
Whoa.
Are you okay, bro? Did I stress you out?
Happy Valentine's Day.
Hey, brother, I love you, Justin. We used to have a special tradition. Our mother would always do like fun little hearts and candy and stickers and stuff for us when we would come downstairs, kind of like Easter with the Easter Bunny, right?
Yeah, no, I always tell people, I was talking to somebody yesterday. They said, your mom, they said, you got more out of 20 years out of your mom than most people get out of a lifetime with their mothers.
I think so.
You know, and just in terms of memories and happy things and, you know, things to hold on to. And yeah, I mean, she would decorate the kitchen for Valentine's Day. She'd put little red hearts all over the kitchen. And we'd come downstairs and Austin and I would have like little chocolate. She would get those like big Hershey I love you chocolates. So it would like say I love you in chocolate. And, you know, I mean, yeah, I'm so grateful that I grew up in a family where where mom just celebrated everything. Like St. Patty's Day and birthdays and Valentine's Days. So when people are kind of anti-Valentine's Day nowadays with me, I'm like, oh, I'm sorry you didn't have my mom. Like, you know,
Yes.
I'm sorry that you didn't have someone in your life that could make it special. Because even if you're single, it's a day about love. And how great is that? You know, how fantastic to have just a day about love.
Well,
like,
I mean, you know why, Justin? Because, like, you know, I've experienced, people's experience is heartbreak, right? They've had heartbreak, and so it's just a reminder to them of what they've lost, or, you know, maybe they've lost the person that they love just for passing away, right? And they people who've spent their whole lives, right? That's been, you know, it might be their first Valentine's Day that they've felt like they are. So, you know, I just, it looks like Oofta, it's cold. Justin helped me on a school project once, thanks to AP. Well, Oofta, it's cold. I don't know who that is, but.
No, me neither.
Huh.
Nice to see you.
I hope you got an A.
Welcome.
You got an A. No, you know, I get that. I guess that, there's something about the way I also think, at least in my experience of growing up, was a positive attitude. And even if something goes wrong, you can always, it's like, look for the gratitude, look for the happiness, look for something to be grateful for. You know, like you told me once, I said I went through a situation where a relationship had ended for me, and you said, well, better to the loved and lost than have never to have loved at all.
I love that.
And You know, I think there's something to be said. I've been watching, last night I was watching a lot of videos on grief. I don't know why, because I'm interested in the process of grief and what that is to people. And grief is an invisible thing. And one of the things that we used to do societally, which I think we should bring back, is people used to have outward external signifiers of their grief. So they would, for example, put a black wreath on their door, or they would walk around for a year just in black. They would dress in black clothing, or men would wear armbands. Like there's a scene in It's a Wonderful Life where George Bailey's dad dies, and he comes in with a black armband. He just wears a black armband for like over his suit. And what I find really interesting about that is that you have a cultural signifier that you can look at someone and go, oh, they're going through something. Because sometimes when you are in grief, you know, people treat you normal and you're like, don't treat me normally. You know, it's like, I'm going through something really sticky here. So I don't know. I think those external.
And some people are like Scarlett O'Hara from Gone with the Wind. When she's forced to wear black, he's like, I'll dance with Scarlett. He's like, she will not be dancing.
Yeah,
yes,
she's
she
like,
will be dancing.
I can't be. Yeah, she's like, that's a great scene. I love that. She's like, I can't bear to go around in black.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Wake Up America show. We are historically, culturally, literarily literate. We're the Peterson family. That's my brother, Justin Peterson. You can see him over there. He's tall, he's big, he's handsome, he's healthy. And maybe he wants to make America healthy again. I know my wife does. Stephanie, she was a vegetarian, you know, partially for ethical reasons, partially for health reasons. Yeah. She's always been super interested in health. And me, I love beer and wine.
I've always been aware of my weight.
But I always was able, when I was a young man, I could always counteract it with my healthy, copious amounts of exercise, right? But nowadays I do have to be a little more careful. In the winter, I sometimes bulk up because I like to hibernate like a bear, but I still work out. The MAHA agenda, Justin, I see some things from the Kennedy. I see some things from the Kennedys that I like. I see things from the Kennedys that I really don't like. But on the political angle, but before we get to his agenda, the political angle, isn't there something, I mean, just so delicious about seeing all of those Kennedys who hated him, they fought him, they did this whole thing against him, and now they're all on the outside. He's on the inside. He's the only relevant Kennedy. He's flipped the script. He's flipped the tables on all of them, Justin.
Well, I mean, I maybe it's just because of, again, I'm going to keep going, because of how I grew up. All of his whole family to go against him like that publicly, like Austin, no matter what, you know, when you were running for president, and at the time, I didn't agree with, you know, probably a lot of your politics at the time. You know, I would have never, ever, ever done to you what those people did to him. Even if I didn't agree, I would have supported you all the way because you're my brother and because, you know, you're my flesh and blood. And I would never, ever do what those disgusting Kennedys have done to throw him under the bus like the way they did. And I was like, it was disgusting. And I don't care what you think about politics at all, just from an ethical framework about family and what you do with family and how you treat family. You know, you and I, Austin, in 2016 you ran, you and I could not have been more diametrically opposed in terms of our politics. I mean, you would say things and I would go, well, I mean, of course, you know, because I was deep in the Kool-Aid at that point. But, you know, you'd say things, I would go, oh my God, my brother. And I used to call you the gadfly because you also used to stir up the crap, you know, people.
He still does.
Oh my gosh. Well, I know. That's why he needed Twitter, because he's got to stir that poop. Got to stir it.
He still goes out in public too and does it.
and filming lawyers and meetings, and that was really intense. I have to say, I watched that video and I was like, when is it going to stop filming? I kept asking myself, like, when is he going to stop? Oh my gosh, he's not stopping. He's not stopping.
Well, I actually asked him. I said, "Were you staring that woman in the face while she was looking at you?"
As a matter of fact, this was my face. Like, she started like giving like a ration of shit to the senator that she was grilling, and I was just in the audience. You know what I mean? I was just sitting there, you know, getting ready to give my testimony, and then she starts getting nasty, and I was like, okay, well, you want to give me a viral moment? I'll take it. So I just put it up, just quietly, not disturbing anyone. Like, it wasn't being like, but then she like turned and looked at me in the eyes, and my eyebrows shot up because she's like, I knew she was addressing me directly, and I kind of know the rules of decorum. You're not supposed to speak if you're in the audience unless you're at the desk, right? Unless you're giving testimony, you're not to speak, right? So she starts addressing me and asking me questions and like giving me orders and commands. And like, at first I was shocked, and then I was like, I realized what was going down. I realized what happened, and I was like, oh no. it ain't going down like this. And I just leaned in and got a nice close up and just brought it up and put it right in her face. Right? Because if you're not doing anything wrong, you have nothing to hide, ma'am. Like what's the issue here? There's cameras everywhere. There's audio and all this kind of stuff. She didn't know anything. She didn't know a damn thing about me, but she had just spent the last 15 minutes bragging about her journalism and her advanced degree. She's a lawyer. I'll sue you. She's like, you can't do this and all this. She's telling me, like, reading all these, saying these things all to me that I didn't even go to journalism school or law school, but I know blatantly is wrong. And it's not only is it against, is what she said wrong from a legal perspective, it's wrong from a journalistic perspective. This is a woman who went to J school at Columbia, Mizzou, right? So I guess it makes sense now that it's so woke and liberal. But the point is that I know what my rights are in a public hearing, in a public meeting, and a public servant. But you know what even made the Republicans uncomfortable, Justin? Because we haven't heard my testimony yet. I think the audio's out there.
You keep saying testimony, and I'm always like, that comes back to my Southern Baptist. Great. It's like, did you give your testimony at church? Well, when I was a sinner, I was not, I was like, what are you talking about, testimony? I was prepared to get up there and give a pretty straightforward speech, not make a fuss or a stink or anything like that, but just to kind of talk about the income tax and why I think that we should get rid of it, because that's what the hearing was about. But she decided to provoke me. So when I got up there in the testifying, not only did I sit my Gulf of America thing, my pointing her, but I also had my coffee sitting out right there. And they were so scandalized because I decided, I was like, I think I need to open my speech by reminding you all that you're public servants here today. Right. I don't work for you, right? They have all forgotten this, Austin. Yeah. All of them. Yeah. So I got up and I made my point. She then tried to grill me about roads because she's, again, like you used to, she's a Kool-Aid drinker. If we don't have government, who will build the roads? Well, when you see what's coming out with the Department of Government Efficiency, Justin, you see the money that we're spending on all these projects. We haven't talked to you, Justin, like at all on this show. Oh, I know. Since all
it's been a bad time.
It's been a bad time for us.
Oh my God.
No, but I saw the thing about the Department of Education, and somebody was making some quotes about, we can't read, and there's all this stuff going on, and this is terrible, and the metrics have never been worse, and it's horrible, and they want to get rid of the Department of Education. I'm like, yeah, that's exactly why. Because the metrics are so bad. We're not learning. People are not learning things. They're making the case for themselves. They're shooting themselves in the foot. Yeah, there's been a lot going on, right? I feel like I feel like I've lived a year in like the past month.
Yeah. It looks like the audio is there. The audio is there on the website from February 12th.
Okay, can you download it real quick? Go ahead and just download it and then send it to me.
It's 4 hours. Oh, and 50, okay. So I'd have to know.
Just send me the link and I'll download it. No worries. Well, I'll cut it, and you know what? And I'll play it on Monday. You guys can hear my testimony. What do you say? Oh, nice. Guys? You want to hear it?
Your testimony.
Testify.
I loved your testimony on Sunday, Austin. It was so inspiring. You touched by the Holy Ghost.
Yeah, I'll just, we'll put a bow on this, and I'll just say it was scary, honestly. It was frightening, but I don't know who I was praying to, but I just prayed. I was like, I'm not going to stop. They're going to have to drag me out of here. I go, if they do, I was like, just don't let my hands shake, because my adrenaline was dumping. I was don't let them think I'm afraid. I'm not afraid. I'm going to stand my ground. And if they have me removed from this hearing, they're going to have to remove me physically. And then that video is going to go even more viral, and they will have rued the day.
And then me and Hazel would be visiting you in jail.
Yeah. Well,
yeah. Then you could write your treaties.
Letters from Birmingham jail. Here's the thing. You know what really pissed her off? You know what really pissed her off, Justin? This is a Kansas City black woman. I started quoting Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. to her. She did not like that. She did not like that because I started lecturing, because she would have started giving me shit. So I started lecturing her right back and I started quoting Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. here. I said there's a difference between what is legal, what is constitutional, and what is moral. And if you remember, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., and she was mad because a sassy white boy was telling off the sassy white woman, reminding him that everything that Hitler did in Germany was legal. Just because something is legal does not make it moral. And I said that the income tax is profoundly immoral. It may be constitutional, but it is immoral. And
I mean, after the whole Doge thing that's come out, this whole they have that website now where you can really, we've always said for years, that's why I wanted Obama, because I was like, oh, we're going to get government transparency. Not. So now we've got this website, right, the Doge website, where there's all this information like a stream going through and telling you what they're doing and what's going on with things and what they're cutting and what they're finding. I mean, that's the ultimate government transparency, right, that we've all been wanting. And now we've got it, you know. So now with the taxation, and now you see all this stuff with USAID that's been spent and all this money that's going on. I mean, we really are.
It's theft.
Well, yeah, and my phrase that I've been telling people, we're in a taxation system that would have given an ancient Egyptian pharaoh a hard-on. Like the ultimate tyrants of history, are looking at our taxation, and literally their mouths are watering. They are going, wow, if only I could have done that in my reign as monarch or king. Oh, man, that they can bilk us from COVID was the largest wealth transfer in the history of the United States. Like, you know, we are all getting it up the rear end. I can't go down to the street and go to my favorite restaurant here and get a salad and breadsticks, and it's $50. Salad and a breadstick is $50.
What?
And this is not like downtown Boston. This is like right down the street in a little rural, not rural, but suburban town in Boston.
What's in
my
the
little
salad?
favorite Italian
Is
place.
it like gold sprinkles?
No, it's just he lives in a metropolitan area. The people who don't, we live in a rural city, right? So we're lucky because we get some modern conveniences out here. You know, we don't have an Olive Garden. You got to drive 45 minutes for that, and I know that kills you. But the cities have gone. The inflation rate has hit the cities hard. The blue states, they're being punished. They're suffering. In that hearing, one of the lawmakers showed me the U-Haul rates in states, and because he was arguing in favor of getting rid of the income tax because that would make Missouri a destination moving location, and it was like a 14% growth in U-Haul. California was like number one. It was like 14% growth in U-Hauls. Everybody was moving out of these blue states, and that's why, Justin. Because I mean, frankly, that's ridiculous.
Oh, it's beyond the pale. And the fact that we are just okay with it that's what's more shocking. You know, I've got a couple of friends I talk to on the socials, on the regular, and we talk every day. And I said, we fought a revolution for less. We fought a revolution for far less. And every time I see these people that are upset about what's going on in the government, I always remember there were loyalists to the crown even during the revolution.
Yeah.
There were people that were still like, we want to suck on the titty of King George forever and ever and ever. And why are you disrupting? Why are you Austin, people don't want freedom. Can we say that on this libertarian show?
Yeah.
People don't want freedom because freedom denotes responsibility.
Yes.
And that's the thing with the Maha agenda with RFK. Freedom to do as you please requires you to be responsible and to take care of your own health and to make sure that you eat the right foods and you diet and you exercise. Now, you are obviously stymied in that by the government when they put crap in your food. Right? Like if your attempt to get healthy is stymied by the fact that the government, is working with lobbyists and all these pharmaceutical companies and drug manufacturers and seed oil things to like make sure you don't eat healthy, that's also a problem.
But here's the thing: it's all of these problems can be solved. Unfortunately, nobody really has the guts. I don't think, maybe not even Doge, to take on the subsidies. Because they're cutting waste, fraud, and abuse, but some of the fraud is official fraud in the sense that you do not get elected as a senator in Florida unless you are in the pocket of Big Sugar, and it has been that way for 100 years. Like if you have it's in Missouri, if you don't bow to the cattle farmers, the cattlemen's here in Missouri, you do not get elected in the state of Missouri. You have to have the Cattlemen's Association by your side because they have the lobby and they have the power. It's like the soybean lobby. Soybean, and Florida has sugar. So, I mean, there's a cartel, Justin. It's a cartel that's set up, and it's very anti-democratic. And so if you really
It's also anti-business, Austin.
Yeah.
It's anti-business because the small business owners like you or I or other people in the country cannot make it. We can't fight against that. We just can't do it. When the interests of these corporate, megalomaniacal companies are, taking so much of the government ear and bending the government ear for what they want, what are small people supposed to be? It's horrible. The fact that I pay a self-employment tax is just staggering to me.
Man, it pisses me off.
It's like a tax for being a business owner. Just to say, I want to be my own boss. I want to do my own thing. Well, you're going to have to pay a tax just for that. There's a tax just for you to do that. And I'm like, it's Austin. It's tyranny.
Yes.
It's absolute tyranny.
God damn right, Justin. Based and red pill.
Tyranny.
Truth.
Justin, based and red
I'm just
pill.
going to use.
Spilling
I'm
the
just going to use
tea.
Thomas Jefferson's favorite word, despotism.
Yeah.
What it is.
Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm. What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure? Stay calm. Wait.
I want my money back, biatch.
Yeah, exact. Taxation is theft.
Well, can I let's get
We
that
have
money back from
a
Ukraine.
new blanket that says taxation is theft. A new full
Steffi,
blanket.
thank you for reminding me. We got to take 2 seconds and just do
I'm
a
so
quick,
excited about
quick
it. I
little
actually
promo.
want one myself.
It's beautiful. So we made this little throw. Hold on, let me taxation.
Taxation is theft.
And
it's got little frillies on it.
yeah, it's got like frilly edges on it. It's brand new. We just made it yesterday, and we've got so many taxation is theft products. That's hilarious.
Is it a quilt or is it
Blanket.
a blanket?
Hold
Yeah.
on. There it is. Woven blanket. That's
It's
what it
so
is. It's a
cute.
woven blanket. Hold
It
on.
is so cute.
Let me pull it up real quick.
Aww.
Hold on, Justin. They can't hear you. Hold on. They can't hear you. Taxation is theft. Woven blanket. Cozy throw for libertarian living room decor. Comes in 3 sizes: 52 by 37, 60 by 50, 80 by 60. Just get the big one.
We
the
could get
huge
one for our king size bed.
Yes,
Ah!
Stephanie. The taxation is theft. Woven blanket is available for sale now at forlibertyshop.com. If you're gonna splurge on something like this, just get the big one, guys. Just get the big one. Come
That
on.
is
Come
sexy.
on. Give us your money. Give us your money. Come on, please. Please, can we have your money? Look at those beautiful edges.
I like how it's multicolored.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
And that matches the writing.
And then look how
That is
the
crazy.
Look how
That
the
actually
taxation
all matches.
And right, I know.
Wow.
Look how the taxation is theft font is all the little quilts, right? Right. You can. This literally exists in one place on this planet, and that's at forlibertyshop.com. Designed by me.
I think that's adorable. I
Thank
love
you.
it. Oh my goodness. I'm going to share that out on
Good.
all of our platforms.
Do it. We're gonna make some other ones too. Forlibertyshop.com, guys. Get it today. Type in taxation is theft woven blanket. Justin, you were saying.
No, taxation is theft.
Correct.
I mean, you know, I think that, you know, even if you saw the USAID thing, how could that not be a red pill moment, right? How could you not really
Yeah.
be like, you know what? I'm getting bilked and I'm getting shaken down by this government to pay for things that I absolutely do not approve of. And it's sort of like, in a perfect world, taxation would work a certain way, but we don't work in that and live in that perfect world. And that's the problem. It's like, because I think the people that justify taxation in this way are like, oh, well, we need it for this or that or the other. Yeah, if we live in a utopia, but we don't live in utopia. We live in the real world. And I can do much more with that money on my own than I could do with the federal government. If I wanted to be charitable, I can give to charity. If I want to build my business and buy more equipment, I can do that myself.
Justin, you are sounding like me 10 years ago. I love it.
Well,
This is everything that I believe in, Justin. I can't believe it. My brother.
But
my
when you
brother.
when you see, okay, I know it sounds like grandma here. When you see the stuff going down, no, like when you are confronted with incontrovertible evidence of absolute nefarious theft, how are we not in a tax revolt? How are we not, as a collective in these countries, saying, we are not giving you any more money until you figure this crap out? We are done. You know, I think about like the small, and again, it's always the small business owners. It's always the people who go to work and try to build something and try to make a bakery shop or try to build a auto repair shop or try to do something, you know, and we're like getting just literally bent over. And sorry, I'm going to say this, I'm going to be colorful here. we're getting bent over without any lube. And that is not nice on Valentine's Day. That is not nice.
Oh my.
Hold on, guys. Hold on real quick. I gotta read. I gotta do. Our friends over at Rumble want us to tell you about their incredible Rumble Premium program. I know a lot of people, when they watch shows like ours, they get Rumble's ads, but they don't even know that they can actually upgrade their accounts to Rumble Premium. And we've just been blown away by all the support we've been getting from Rumble. They keep rolling out incredible updates for creators like us. They care about small creators. They're supporting the freedom movement in a way that no other platform. There is not a single other social platform that has done more to advance freedom, free speech, open debate, non-demonetization of people like ourselves who, I mean, for the love of God, yeah, are we radical right-wingers? But like, we're not psychopaths or something like that. Like, we're not like, seek Heil, for the love of God. Rumble has actually stood up for us and the small creator, and they have said, you deserve to have a platform for your voice. I pay $10 a month. You can do it for $100 a year, but they have a discount. What I recommend people do is they use the studio code. It's just promo code studio at rumble.com/premium. You get $10 off. You know, I actually have 2 Rumble Premium accounts because we got Culturama. I got to get Liberty Tonight one as well, but, you know, money. But if you want to support Rumble because they've supported us and they support free speech, then go to rumble.com/premium. Use their promo code STUDIO. If you've got the means and you believe in the cause, use the studio code, rumble.com/premium, and say thank you to Rumble. No commercials.
Thank you, Rumble.
We are super grateful for you. And of course, please do support the Wake Up America show directly by giving Rumble rants. And Rumble gets a little bit of those too. So.
Can I just tell you what the left is distracted by right now?
Yeah, Justin, they can hear you now too, by the way. Go ahead.
And why they're really not into all this tax stuff. I get all the insider info from my mother, mostly. The other day, she's like, Trump wants to ban paper straws. Can you believe it? We were going to have to use plastic straws. And like, this is what they're distracted by. They just feel like, you know, they have to save the planet. And that is the only important thing. And they don't care how much money has to be thrown at this issue.
Justin, are you hearing the sound bites?
Oh, which ones?
Are you hearing like
your sound box?
Well, yeah. Are you hearing like the cheers and?
Oh yeah.
Okay. So then, here's Bill Clinton and Al Gore in the 90s. Speaking of like Democrats and how easily distracted they are, this is Bill Clinton and Al Gore from the 1990s. Listen to this clip.
This report tells us how to cut waste, cut red tape, streamline the bureaucracy, change procurement rules, change the personnel rules, and create a government that works better and costs less.
I've read it, and where it says the president should, the president will.
Among the 800 recommendations, eliminating 12% of the federal workforce, merging some government agencies like the FBI, the DEA, and the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, closing hundreds of government offices outside Washington.
From the day I took office, one of the commitments that I made to the American people was that we would do a better job here in Washington in rooting out wasteful spending. We thought that it was entirely appropriate for our governments and our agencies to try to root out waste, large and small, in a systematic way. It means cutting some programs that I think are worthy, but we may not be able to afford right now. A lot of the action is in Congress, legislative, but in the meantime, we don't need to wait for Congress in order to do something about wasteful spending that's out there. We haven't seen as much action out of Congress as we'd like, and that's why we launched on our own initiative the campaign to cut waste. And we're going to keep on finding every possible way that we can do that, even if Congress is not acting. There you go.
Even if Congress is not accurate, that Barack Obama, 2011.
Yeah.
So what waste did they cut? What
It was of course.
What did
it
they cut?
was. Yeah, there wasn't.
No, I'll do me another sale. I just sent you a video on Instagram. Play that one.
Okay.
I just sent you a video on Instagram on your private Instagram account.
Okay.
I just DM'd you an Elizabeth Warren interview with Michael Moore.
Oh, I think I did play this one earlier, but it merits a replay. Hold on one second. I'll grab it. It takes me 2 seconds to set this up.
That's all right. I'll talk. I'll tell the people how fabulous I am.
Okay, you do
I'm
that.
so healthy on RFK's new Maha
Making
agenda.
America healthy again on Valentine's Day.
He should sell Maha shakes, like Maha protein powder. That would be a great moneymaker. There you go. That's what we'll do with the money that used to be spent on taxes. He can just sell his different health products under the Maha label.
You guys can make like protein shakes, or like make what I'm saying, bottles. Make bottles that say Maha on them.
That's not a bad idea. This is Elizabeth Warren before she became a multi-millionaire.
Correct.
back in 2009.
Oh, I love
talking to someone who spent many years as a prosecutor, and he said, when that much money disappears, it's usually because somebody broke some laws somewhere. But if we don't look, if we don't ask, if we don't uncover it and make it all public, we'll never find out.
Where is the criminal investigation that needs to happen here?
I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
I just haven't seen it at all. What the government didn't do is it didn't turn around and say, you lost how much money, and you wiped out how many pensions, and you wiped out how many jobs. I want to know who did what, whether or not any laws were violated, where the gaps are in the system that would permit this to happen. I want to hold somebody responsible. Responsibility is not just about blame. Responsibility is about making sure we fix this and it will not happen again. I was
lying school marm. She is the epitome of the humanitarian with a guillotine, Justin. She is.
I mean, what a far right take that was. How far right of her.
I know. You know what she is? She is a moral busybody. She is a moral busybody.
Oh. She's a Carrie Nation. She's a Carrie Nation.
That's what people who are for taxes are. They're moral busybodies.
They are,
they
yes.
truly feel they're doing the right thing by spending our dollars on things that are moral in their mind.
She created that Consumer Financial Protection Bureau before she got into office, and she created it as an unaccountable agency. It didn't have to be accountable to Congress because she thought, oh, well, it won't be political. They won't get their money from appropriations. They'll get it directly from the Federal Reserve, and they can take whatever they want, however much they want. Well, guess what? The only thing was that the CFPB had the ability to set their budget to zero if they wanted to, Justin. They didn't, because they weren't from a congressional mandate. So guess what? Now they've set the budget to zero, and her precious baby, at least she got rich. I think I saw her net worth was like $600 million, something like that. She makes $240,000 a year as a U.S. senator. Somebody check me on that. Open
Does
secrets.
she give it to charity?
Oh, please. Yeah, like Bernie Sanders.
we were talking just the other day about all these really rich people giving their money to charity.
Yeah. Well, like I saw Bernie ride around his really fancy car. Also, Bernie, who did not support Tulsi's nomination when she went to bat for him.
Son of a bitch. I knew he was a fraud from the second I laid eyes on him. That old communist bastard. He is Steffi. Tulsi. You're both hot, but I get them confused. A Tulsi and a Steffi in my life.
I need like a streak of gray hair.
These aren't your Valentine's Day red hots here.
No, sir. We're gonna have ourselves a sexy little role play with the Director of National Intelligence later tonight.
Oh my God!
Me and the DNI chief. Yeah, get a surfboard and a Hawaiian luau thing, Steffi, and a wig, and we're gonna have some Valentine's fun. What do you say? No.
Fraud.
Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders, huge fraud. Tulsi Gabbard driven out of the party. You know why? Because she embarrassed their DEI hire, Kamala Harris. She destroyed Kamala Harris in the debates. They put her on a no-fly list, Justin. The director of national intelligence was on a no-fly list.
Yeah.
God's in heaven.
And when it cost her, right, when it really cost her to support Bernie, she supported Bernie. And when the table turned, he could not be bothered to do the same for her. Just goes to show you put these people on pedestals to your own peril. Because they're horrible.
Yeah, no, they are
monster people.
Yeah.
They're monster people.
Monster people. Justin, I remember in the beginning of the pandemic, I called Anthony Fauci a monster, and somebody kind of was like, well, I don't think he's a monster and stuff. And now that person is singing a different tune. Anthony Fauci, monster.
Well, he's the science. You can't talk about the science.
Man,
is he the good
talk
science?
About the science.
He is the
Are you a good science or a bad science?
Are you a good witch or a bad witch?
Well, that would be what RFK Jr. would say. Maybe someone needs to make a meme of him as Glinda. Be like, are you a good science or a bad science?
Here are the
Well,
key
the
Go
thing
ahead,
with
Justin.
science is that people can't get funding for their experiments and stuff. So what they invariably have to do is they have to go and plead around to get people to pay for them because they're so expensive. And though obviously when you get these pharmaceutical interests in an experiment, I mean, isn't there like we're going to do an experiment on this new health food, and we're going to pay for the experiment to show that it's awesome. So isn't that kind of putting your finger on the scale of science to be able to lead to the hypothesis?
Always has been. I mean, all of the things that the FDA, Justin, has issued a recall for, the FDA has approved.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's people. They're like, we need the foods that we need food and drugs to be regulated. We've got to have the food and drugs. The government has to make it clean. And we got into this mindset because, again, talking about people who they get easily distracted and are easily led, off into nonsense. Back in the early 1900s, I mean, we had this whole series of Supreme Court cases called the slaughterhouse cases. And we lost a lot of our economic liberty in these slaughterhouse cases because people were complaining about the slaughterhouses having the offal and the sort of guts and things going down the river. And there was the question about the property rights of, who was being harmed by the environmental drainage. So Upton Sinclair upped and wrote this book about the slaughterhouses at the time. And it was called The Jungle, and it sparked this massive reform. But what people don't remember is that The Jungle was a fictional novel, right? It even, I believe, spurred Teddy Roosevelt to take a lot of his environmental changes and actions. And don't get me wrong, you don't have the right to always pollute the air that everybody else breathes. At some point, if you're literally spitting in people's faces toxic, chemicals and stuff, you can't just dump that into the environment or put that out. But that's called conservation, which I think
violating the NAP.
Well, that's
what's in our water though, Austin? You know what's in our water?
Estrogen and cocaine,
the drugs that everyone's on,
fluoride.
drugs everybody's taking, and SSRIs.
Fluoride, yeah.
Seriously, the SSRIs that we're all on, these medications that we're all taking for depression and anxiety, it's in the water supply.
So that means we're getting the benefits of it. So that's why we're so happy.
It could
That's
be.
right.
It depends. It depends on the dosage, right? That definitely needs to be studied. And now this is a good time to talk about the MAHA agenda, even though we've been teasing it out.
We've been talking about.
I have the bullet points. I put it through ChatGPT to grab them. President's executive order launches the Make America Healthy Again Commission to tackle America's health crisis. U.S. life expectancy is 78.8 years, lower than compatible countries at 82.6, comparable countries at 82.6. Chronic disease epidemic. 6 in 10 Americans have at least one chronic disease. 4 in 10 Americans have 2 or more chronic diseases. 1 in 5 adults has a mental illness. Is that self-reported? Childhood health crisis. 40.7% of children, 30 million, have at least one chronic condition, like asthma, allergies, or autoimmune disease. 1 in 36 children is diagnosed with autism, up from 1 in 10,000 1980s. Is that a reporting problem? 40% of adolescents are overweight or obese. 30% of adolescents are pre-diabetic. Jesus. 18% of older teens and young adults have fatty liver disease. Older teens and young adults have fatty liver disease. 3.4 per million children are on ADHD medications, up from 3.2 million just a few years ago. This was actually what spurred Teddy Roosevelt to start some of the rifle programs. So, and JFK actually, his uncle did a lot of stuff for the health agenda for the youth. Of course, that was because John F. Kennedy wanted to send them all to die in Vietnam, but that's another story. 77% of young adults are unfit for military service, largely due to poor health. That's a big deal. Healthcare costs 90% of the $4.5 trillion annual healthcare spending goes to treating chronic and mental health care issues. Jesus. So the key focus areas for this commission will be to investigate the root causes of disease, nutrition, medications, environment, lifestyle, ensure food quality and safety is a priority, abolish the FDA for me. That's what I would do. Promote preventative health through better nutrition and lifestyle changes. That's perfectly fine, but don't make it Michelle Obama and give us a bland sandwich. Increase transparency in medical research and eliminate corporate conflicts of interest. Great. Love it. Love to see it. They're going to do a 100-day assessment to investigate childhood chronic disease causes and 180-day strategy to restructure government health efforts and prevent chronic disease in kids. So the goal is to shift from managing disease to promoting health and ending childhood chronic disease. Justin, that's it. Sounds good. I hope that it happens. Those all sound like good things to tackle. This sounds like, we've identified some problems, but I hope that this really is the science and it's not just confirming biases. I hope they go in there with open minds. I hope they don't try and silence people who might disagree, right? If this administration does this all in the spirit of openness and real transparency, and everybody can see the results, and we can do lab trials that anybody can replicate, and
double blind
tests that everybody can replicate, and draw conclusions from that and that alone, then I am 100% on board with the agenda of studying and hopefully fixing some, if not all, of these problems. What do you say, Jess?
I agree with you. I mean, that's what it should be. I mean, go back if you watch. I know you guys love YouTube, and I love YouTube too because I'm more of an archivist. I love archival footage and videos of things that are long past, or just because socially, culturally, I'm interested in human beings and how we've lived. And if you go back and you watch these physical fitness routines that these high schoolers did in the 1960s, where they're just, I don't know if you can pull it up even, but they're like just climbing on stuff, going all over the place. You're looking at the young men of America.
Climbing ropes.
Yeah, that was JFK. And that was actually, that military readiness program.
Well, when we
that
were
stuff
children,
is crazy.
We had the presidential physical fitness tests.
That's right.
Did you all have that in school?
Yep.
Okay.
The president's test.
Yeah, the V sit and reach, the mile run.
Yep.
Yes, here we go.
And Arnold Schwarzenegger was like the guy. They put Arnold
the
Schwarzenegger.
This is 1962, health revitalization speech.
More unfortunate than to have soft, chubby, fat-looking children.
Oh my God, he said that?
Listen.
Basketball every Saturday and regard that as their week's exercise. I hope that all of you will join, and everybody in the United States, to make sure that our children participate fully in a vigorous and adventurous life. There's nothing, I think, more unfortunate than to have soft, chubby, fat-looking children.
Oh my God!
That is not politically correct. Wow. We talked like that.
Yes. Now, let me, if I'm going to be a gadfly, can I just be gad for just a moment? It is important to remember that, the reasons for that, the reasons for JFK to do that were specifically to, fight the wars that he was getting us embroiled in. People lionize JFK as an amazing president because he died while he was in office, and people are like, oh well, you can't. So they've turned him into this icon that, in terms of libertarians, presidents, Trump is far more libertarian than John F. Kennedy ever was, and he's far smarter when it comes to foreign policy than Kennedy was. I was crapping my pants yesterday, Justin, when I saw that Trump was trying to talk to Putin to end the war in Ukraine. The Democrats Hillary Clinton, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, they've all been trying to get us into war with Ukraine. A president who doesn't want war. That was amazing. Amazing.
Yeah, I want my tax refund. Give me my money back, bitches. Give me my money back. I want my Ukraine money back, please. I want my blue and yellow money back, please. And the blue Ukrainian flag.
Whitey White 14, our resident white nationalist in the chat, says he says Japanese are not fat because they all will tell you how fat you are every day. He's right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
he's right.
Yeah.
They shame each other.
They fat shame,
they do.
Did you know that one of the things about Japan too that they do, the men they have an alcoholism problem with the men, the businessmen in Japan get drunk on the trains, and there's a whole culture of alcoholism.
Oh, you know about it, Austin.
Oh yeah.
Where they go out to drink every night, and they have to drink with their boss.
They don't when you go to a bar on a weekend, it'll be dead because they've drank so much during the week that for them the weekend is taking it off because their culture is. You're basically almost like the servant of your boss in a way. You have to, and everybody in the totem pole has to serve the person higher than them, and so the boss gets it. But if there are any women there, even if they're higher on the totem pole, they still have to serve the men, which is interestingly misogynistic, patriarchal. Even though Japanese women have kind of surpassed Japanese men in many ways, It's a fascinating scenario where they actually drink themselves stupid on work nights,
Yes.
and we as Americans are like, how do you do that? I couldn't keep up with that
Right.
level of drinking.
No.
So they have a lot of
It's nearly
alcoholism.
Russian. It's nearly Russian
Yeah.
how much they drink. You know, the other thing too about Japan is that, you know, obviously you said this before, and I say this a lot now because I took it from you, which is the idea that Japan is really a monoculture. So there are certain things you can do in a monoculture that you can't do in a more culturally diverse country. You just can't. Like, obviously, you know, I live in the city. It's fun to compare the trains and the subways and the public transit systems in the United States, let's say for example, New York City or Boston, with the trains in Japan. Like, they are silent as a tomb. These trains in Japan, people do not bother each other. They do not play their music loud on the trains. They don't talk loud on their phones. It's a very, very respectful. It's a culture that is steeped in respect, especially respect for elders.
Can
you know?
confirm. Yes, we did not talk on the trains. Even when we
Yeah.
accidentally were on the all-female train and Austin was in there, nobody said not one word.
Yeah, we accidentally got on the all-woman train, and I looked around. I was so embarrassed, Justin. Of course,
no.
the first, because like, you know, we were trying to navigate the subway, and I think it was the very first subway ride we had taken,
Yeah.
and it was, you know, you don't notice the difference between the colors of the train right away.
I think it was like pink sakura flowers or something
it looked
all
like
over
cherry
the train.
blossoms all over the train, and so we just thought maybe it was just a themed train or something. But it was the girls' cabin. I looked around and I was the only guy in there, and like nobody looked at me, nobody said anything, no eyes were judging or anything like that. You just know that if there was something like that in the United States, there'd be some bitch who'd be like,
Well, and they probably saw you, and they were like, "Oh, you know, you're whitey."
Yeah, he
and they
didn't
were like,
know.
"Oh,
Exactly.
this whitey guy."
Right.
But you know what? I was listening this week to Studio Ghibli. I'm not an anime person. Are you guys anime people? Do you do anime at all? Do
It
you watch?
depends on the anime, but not
Yeah,
most
I don't
new
do
anime,
it.
no.
I don't do anime, right? It's not a genre I seek out. But the different, like in Japan, anime can be about any topic, so it doesn't have to be. It's not necessarily geared for children. Like they'll do animes that are geared, you know, for adults and stuff. So Studio Ghibli is one of the major studios in Japan that puts out anime films. And I was watching a video this week about, and I've never seen this movie. I don't know if I want to after having seen this guy react to it. The Grave of the Fireflies, which is a film about post-war Japan, and it's a story between an older brother and his younger sister as they try to grapple with, you know, the devastation of post-war Japan after the war. Don't know if I want to see that, but
That's cool.
the point that they were making is that the Japanese culture, and when you think about like a movie production studio like Studio Ghibli, and then like let's say a Disney, and you compare it. The cultures that are behind those two studios, the one in the United States, the Disney studio, is the basic idea is this: childhood is wonderful and magical and special and enchanted, and it never has to end. And Studio Ghibli in Japan is childhood is wonderful and magical and enchanting and lovely, and it ends. So the idea that, you know, you see these Disney adults, right? These people that are like 30, 40 years old, and they're like dressing up like characters and stuff. Like,
You think memento mori, Justin? Remember you will die is a concept that Americans like are struggling with, right? This concept.
Well, our culture
die.
isn't. Well, the part of this, Austin, what I'm trying to say, I guess, is that we have infantilized ourselves as a society. We have allowed ourselves to live as children, and the government is our parent, right? We sort of think of them as our parent, and that was never the intention of the founders. It was that we would be adults, and our equals would be our rulers, not our rulers, but you know what I'm saying, our government elected officials. We now have adopted this very, very infantilized view of ourselves as a society, which touches into these policies, how we eat. What do children? I mean, you guys have a baby. What do children want to eat all the time? Sweets, right? That's a very childlike attitude towards self-care. It's like, well, that hedonism. That's very much the unfettered child.
What's fascinating too, Justin, is you could juxtapose that with like, yes, we have like infantilization, but also strangely lost our playfulness and sense of humor. Like it's
Well,
like,
that too.
It's like
But
children-
that's because parent, Austin.
Right.
That's the energy of a parent. That's a critical parent who's like, "How dare you laugh? Do not laugh in church. How dare you?" So you have these diametrically opposed things. Like, I'm sorry, I'm going to go off
ahead.
road here.
Go.
But like when people were like, when Trump was coming back, to office, there was all of these right-wing people that were like, "Daddy's back," right? I mean, there's all of that kind of commentary.
Yeah.
That is a direct, even if it's subconscious, or unconscious, that is a direct communication of how you relate to your elected officials, right? That you look at your elected officials as that you are the subordinate and they are the parent. And they did the same thing with Kamala Harris. Like when Drew Barrymore sat down with Kamala Harris in that interview on her show, and she was like, "We need you to be the mamala of our country." I'm like, we don't need parents, okay? We don't need parents. We are not children. Do not speak to us as your citizens as though we are children. I reject that totally. Like we are not your children. You do not get to talk to us and put Austin. What did that woman do to you in that courtroom? That was total critical parent energy. You are not going to interact with me like that. We're going to talk as adults. You're not going to treat me that way.
That's right.
So, the thing with Trump is like, my thing with the people that are like really on the Trump train is they are all in on this idea of daddy. You know what I mean? And I'm just kind of like, no, he's not dad. Nope. Yeah. So I think there's something about as in this country, we're a young country, but we need to grow the F up. We need to grow up. We need to act like adults. And part of being an adult is this idea about you're going to eat well. You're going to sleep well. You're going to exercise. You're going to make sure that you are acting in a way that you are taking control of your own life. This is what adults do. Children sit around and wait for the adults to tell them what to do, or the parent to tell them what to do, when to go to bed, what to eat, how to do their life. And we have a lot of citizens in this country that want to live in giving up their power and their autonomy and their individual liberty so that daddy or mommy can run the show. Ooh.
So do you think does this mean now that Donald Trump is not going to be serving McDonald's to everybody who comes into the White House anymore? Is this, the famous French fry cook?
Is he going to have shrimp now for everybody?
Right.
Something healthy?
Something healthy, like a shrimp salad or something,
Well, he does like Diet Coke.
Yeah, what about all the chemicals that are in Diet Coke, man? You don't think that stuff's not natural?
Exactly. Just because it's diet, sugar-free, caffeine-free.
No. You think there are no solutions to problems in the world. There are only trade-offs.
That's right.
Right. That's why if I'm gonna drink soda, if I'm gonna drink the poison, I drink the real natural poison. And maybe that's a naturalistic fallacy. Just because something's natural doesn't necessarily mean it's good. But there's a Frankenstein's monster of chemicals on the side of those cans of things. And if I'm gonna partake in bad stuff, it's gonna be for something real good, like a devil cream or a ho-ho, or it's gonna be alcohol, like whiskey or wine. Don't take away my poison, take away their poison.
Hearing what you're saying, Justin, it was making me think, why is it that we like to see these people as mommy or daddy? And I think it's because we live such busy lives. We're always working, always going. And it's just easier. It's easier to have someone tell us, hey, this is the food pyramid. Here's what you need to eat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It saves us time. And I think I grab at that too myself. I just want the easy answer.
I also think that happens in religion. I think that happens in religion too.
Yeah.
Happens with any kind of thought process where it's like, oh, well, this is what we believe. And the pastor's just going to tell you what you need to know. You don't need to investigate your faith. You don't need to go through the Bible yourself and read it. You don't think for yourself. Just let some official from on high tell you what to do.
It feels so good.
It does, because it's like, oh, I don't have to think. And we are living in a hyper informational world right now, even more. Can you imagine even from 20 years ago, like information is coming at us like a fire hose, and it's almost like we can't make sense of it all. It's coming so fast at us. So, I think it creates in people this idea for a savior.
Yes.
That's what Hitler was. It's like, save me. Someone please tell me what to do. Especially, when we're talking about food, Austin, you can think about like oh, the government says eggs are bad. No, eggs are okay. It's like you just like you never know up or down with what you're even supposed to be eating now. It's like, well, this study says this cholesterol, and this study says that. I mean, we're all in a state of perpetual like, well, I don't know what to do. And I here's where I am on the Trump train. If I am on the Trump train, I want to bring back common sense. Like, people have been eating eggs for thousands of years. Let's just keep eating eggs, you know? Or
What is it, the whites or the yolks? Which one?
Well, I'll
We've
eat the whole
been
damn
drinking.
thing.
We've been drinking alcohol for thousands of years, but
And that's not good for you. So we can't say, well, we've always done it, because look how we've abused children.
Yeah, but there's
long time ago.
They deserved it.
But here's the problem. Here's the problem as I see it, and people aren't going to like this. It's my opinion.
Oh, talking about
The
children,
problem-
Hazel's awake.
Good, but also bad, because I think we're going to have to go into overtime a little bit, guys. I don't know if Justin can stay. It's up to him.
I'm going to go get her.
Here's the fact. Here's
I'm
the
gonna go
facts.
get her.
There are 890 people watching the Wake Up America show on Rumble.com right now. We can't let that go. It continues to build. When the numbers are growing like this, then I say let's go. But if you really want to see,
And
us
we like things to grow on Valentine's Day.
We
you know
do.
what I'm saying?
Yes.
Meow, meow, meow. Red Hots, Red Hots,
So
Red
as-
Hot.
As long as the numbers continue to grow, and as long as people like Heartland Okie are over there buying subs for other people in the chat, thank you, Heartland Okie. We will be able to continue the Wake Up America show this morning. We go into uncharted territory. It's usually easy for us to keep a conversation going anyway, because we're brothers, we're family, and all that stuff. But sometimes other priorities do come in. So I don't know how long we'll be able to go into overtime today. We'll probably reach a point when the numbers start to die and maybe people aren't donating as much. So that's our sign that it's time to hit the exits. You guys have had enough of us. But for now, if you're having fun and you want to hang out with us and you can do a little overtime today, stick with us. It's the Wake Up America show, and Freedom Family Friday means that we have an absolute blast with the people that I love the most in the world. I'm so thankful that I get to have Freedom Family Friday on Valentine's Day, because you're about to, with the addition of one more redhead on this set, you're about to see like the people, almost everybody who is like of the utmost zenith of my love in my life. My brother, who has been with me since I was a child.
1981.
Justin, there's only one other person who's known me longer or more intimately is Dad. Dad.
Right, yeah.
And so it's basically Dad, and then you know me the best. We've been together the longest, and we know each other the most. It's been quite an evolution of dramatic turns, twists and turns in our life, Justin, on a personal note, because we started life in an idyllic, it's kind of like that song, da 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 da. You know what I mean? Where it's this beautiful.
Are you going
life.
a little Peer Gynt, and are you doing a little Edvard Grieg? Are you doing a little? You got to pay some copyright to Edvard Grieg.
I don't want to play. That's exactly why I don't want to play that, because so I'll just play. I'll play something else that I can get 7 seconds of. But we started out life in a beautiful farm in Peculiar, Missouri, and it was a horse farm. We would wake up in the middle of the night and run out to the barn and to the top of the hay bales and watch little baby horses being born, and raise chickens and rabbits and sometimes cows and pigs. And things. And we adopted a little girl who's our sister, who we now have Mario, and our beautiful nephew Mario, who's a football player. He's jacked. He's giant. He's bigger than I am. And now we've built lives for ourselves, in careers and tangential careers, pursued the things that we love in life, Justin. And, we may not be the richest, wealthiest, most powerful, most famous people, but I mean, we get to do what we love, both of us, for a living. And boy, life has kind of never looked better for the Peterson brothers, has it?
Can I tell you, there was a time in my life where and I think maybe this is normal, but you look back and you want to be young again. You want to go back to the happinesses of your youth, right? Because they're so, like you said, they're so idyllic. And to a degree, that is true. But I will say this. I've never been in a place in my life where I have so much knowledge and have now worked with, to learn about myself and how to be strong in myself, and to say no to things that normally in my 20s I would have gone along with, because I was very much, I was a goody two-shoes growing up. And I was like the literal, look it up in the dictionary and there's my picture. Goody two-shoes, it's like, oh my gosh. But I mean, to be able to say no, or to say, I don't want to do that, or that doesn't work for me, or, you know, to be able to be strong like that, like just in fortitude to say no, and I don't like that, or that doesn't interest me, or no, or there's some wonderful stuff about that. I'm excited because in a couple years, I'm going to be turning the corner on another number in my life, putting a 5 in front of my age, and I am excited to be entering what I'm going to call my fuck it 50s. I'm going to call it my fuck it 50s because I'm just going to be like, I don't care about your dumb opinions, and I don't care about this bull crap. I don't care about, so it's going to feel really good, I think. It's really weird for me now, though.
There is something liberating about not giving a damn what people think about you, right, JP?
It's true. It does come. I think that's a youthful thing. That's a young thing for people to care about themselves, how they're perceived socially. It's good to grow up a little bit out of that.
It's very much the get off my lawn, Clint Eastwood kind of thing in a way. You know what I mean?
Well, you're around long enough, Og, and you see enough like behavior in other people that you're like, you guys are, once you graduate high school, you become an adult, and then you realize, hey, we're still in high school. That people don't change. They still act like children. I guess for me, the funny thing, I just had a birthday a week ago or so, and it's, for me, obviously, this is a really weird age to get to because I'm now at the age that Mom was when she got diagnosed with cancer. So I'm kind of like in this mindset of like, this is my last year of life. You know what I mean? Like in my mom's mind, I'm like, this is it. Like, this is now entering the last year that Mom was alive, and I'm in it now. And I think and I compare that to my life now, and I think what I'm doing, what have I done with my life, and where have I been? And it's kind of humbling because you think, I'll always feel like if I get to the other side of 50, I'll feel like, not a betrayal, but I'll feel like, gosh, it'll feel weird to get to that. I'll be like, it'll be a sad thing because I'm like, I got to an age that my mom never got to be able to live to. So I don't know. I'm kind of thinking the coming year, I'm like, how can I live in a really full way and like, take advantage of everything fully in this. I'm kind of like dedicating this next year of my life to kind of like living that full life.
It's funny how you talk about like growing up, how you were a goody two shoes, because it's like in many ways it's very much a matter of degrees. Because compared to you, I was like a bad kid, but me compared to the actual bad kids in school, like I was an angel in high school. But Stephanie and I were just talking about this yesterday because she's like, God, I would have really loved to have seen you when you were like the goody two shoes growing up and in choir and like, such a good kid and going to church and all this stuff. She's like, I really would have loved to have seen you like that. And I was like, it's funny because I'm like, maybe you're not always the best judge of yourself, but like, I think I'm a good person, right? I'm not actually a bad person who is malevolent and, sowing discord just to like hurt people or harm people. Like but you always have to be careful because, Hitler thought he was a good guy. But in terms of like self-reflection, I have had to sow perhaps a bit of my darker side as a survival mechanism, right? Because of the things that I've done and the things that I've been through and the experiences that I've had. You run for president, you will come out with a dark side. I promise you.
Well, listen, I told people that this last week. I was talking to Seth Austin, who went through something that I cannot even imagine, to see how the true state of human depravity, right? To pick up the rock of humanity and look under and see all them ugly ass grubs under there. And be like,
yes,
this is the dregs.
People show you who they are, Justin. People show you who they are. People, like we were talking about this earlier because I got banned or hacked on X trying to get my account back. How people who act like they're your friends, but then when you're in trouble or you're down or whatever, like some of them, a lot of them will just ignore you and just walk on by. And then others, they'll spit in your eye. They'll kick you while you're down. They weren't rooting for you the whole time. They were rooting for you because they wanted to see whether or not you were going to succeed or fail or not. When they thought the chips were down for you, they took the first opportunity they had to stab you in the back. And that is what I learned over and over and over again as I got repeatedly betrayed, repeatedly doxxed and attacked and harassed. And I mean, I had already sort of cultivated a dark side to a certain extent in many ways before I ran for president, because I don't think I would have survived the ordeal if I hadn't. In some ways, it does steal your innocence in a lot of ways. But
Well, yeah, the cynicism that you then have to fight out of, the black pill. Oh
to still be positive, to still be optimistic, to still be, red pilled and white pilled in some ways, and to still see good in people and to find it. Yeah, those are oftentimes my challenges, right? To avoid being jaded. But the way you look at the world, it's usually a reflection of yourself. Yes. Right? It's usually reflective of who you are and what you think and your worldview and stuff. And it's, I've had power, Justin. I've had power in my life in many ways. I have power now. I have, when I think about my employee, or power over the life of my child, power over my wife's security, right? A power over finances and all these things. And I've had, certain levels of power. Stephanie and I talked about, being a celebrity and how people treat you. And we talk about like what it's like being a low level celebrity and all that kind of stuff. And it's
a low life celebrity.
A low level, yeah.
I like that Freudian slip
low
there.
Life. It is low life. In many ways, it's better to be rich than famous, I'll say. But
100%.
If you want to test a man's character, give him power. And so what you do with power when you have it, because I've seen
heavy is the head that wears the crown.
That wears the crown. And I've only worn it a very, very time. Maybe I've only really worn a tiara in some ways, more than a crown. But I've worn it.
Some jeweled earrings.
Exactly. But I felt that pressure, because as soon as you have power, the malign interests line up to take advantage of it. And then, of course, when you don't have that power, they all disappear, right?
Well, and this, I would say, Austin, is one of the reasons why we are in a society now to where people don't want to stick out, right? Like, just go along, just do what everyone else is doing. I don't want to make waves. I don't want to cause any scandals. I don't want to do any. So you sort of live this sort of sterile, people-pleasing life.
Yes.
And it's no real life if you have to give it away to others to live it.
Yeah.
And it takes, somebody was telling me this week, I was at a Zoom meeting a week ago or so, and we were talking about musical theater kids, right? Of course, because that's my job. And how so many of these young people who are, wanting to perform and things, when they perform, they have nothing to say. They have nothing like artistically to say. And I personally believe it's because they're all afraid of sticking out. They're all afraid of being the exceptional, because again, as well as I do, Austin and Stephanie, that Marxism is anti-meritocracy, right? Meritocracy is the enemy, is public enemy number one in Marxism, because you can't stick out. You can't look at like better than other people. And what is performing but a complete and total meritocracy? To be able to look at someone and go, that person's freaking talented. That person can sing, or that person can play the piano, or that person can act. And these, I think we're all petrified. And what you went through, I don't think most people, I don't think I could have done that. I know I couldn't have done that. I am too soft-hearted to do that. You had to develop a skin. You had to absolutely develop. And I would even say, like, when I would talk to friends, oh God, we're getting totally therapied in here.
That's okay, go ahead.
But I'd say there's really two Austins, right? there is the public Austin that goes out and does all of this public stuff, but then there's the private Austin, and I know the private Austin. And those two people are seldomly the same person, which is has been a fascinating thing to watch. But you had to do it because you had to survive.
Yeah.
It was survival.
It is. It was definitely a vision quest. And I mean, you wouldn't believe the horrible things every day on the presidential campaign. I would get a phone call that was about some disaster or another, that was some betrayal or attack or cyber attack or ban on Facebook, and lost access to your followers, and Colorado is banning you from the debate. I went anyway and got up on that stage, and they told me not to. I violated their nap, as you might say. And,
oh my gosh!
Took Michigan too, right?
Michigan refused. I flew all the way to Michigan and went all the way there, and they refused to let me. They used parliamentary procedure to refuse to allow me to speak.
If only you had known me, I would have let you in my house.
Yeah.
That would have been creepy for you.
I'm sure.
But I think there is that thing, that there's that bifurcation. I think people that ride atop. Well, I love this quote. People that ride atop the tiger can never get off.
Yeah.
The people that ride the top of the tiger you can never get off of it. Mm-hmm. And, that happens in all facets of life. And anyone who seeks to be more or greater or tap the God within, as I like to say,
yeah,
that comes with that that idea of being seen, being the man in the stadium, right? Being the guy in getting covered with blood and mud, and having everyone in the stands going, well, I would have done it differently. Or, I would have done it this way.
It's our own fault, though. We keep giving these people on the Tiger the attention that they want. And we just can't bring ourselves to stop doing that.
Well, and,
we continue to idolize these people.
But the thing is, you have to change. If you really want to succeed, though, you have to change yourself. You cannot, because nobody can succeed like as they are completely. Like nobody, like it's not an interesting story to watch somebody who already has all the power and magic and can just do it. Like, you know, Harry Potter is interesting, but he still had to go through trials and tribulations in many ways. He had to change in the end. The great heroes of literature, right? So you will come out the other side. The Pilgrim's Progress. You will come out.
I'll tell you this though, if your idols are politicians, you need better idols.
Hey, Ron Paul. Come on now.
Even Paul.
Ron Paul was my biggest idol.
Even Paul has his weak spots, but
I'm just saying, like, it's a very dangerous thing to do.
It is.
I mean, like, there are great people in history that you can look to and go, gosh, that person. If I could just have that person to talk to, if I could just, you know, this is actually, you know, I'm going to go off funny here, but this is one of the cool parts about ChatGPT. You could be like, you are Cato, and I want to have a conversation with you as if you are Cato. So you can prompt ChatGPT to like act as a personality from history, and then like incorporating all of their knowledge and all of their wisdom, and you can have conversations with these like people.
Yeah, would they be politically correct? Like if it was Thomas Jefferson, would he be like, I do not have slaves?
Right. Well, that's
so. Well, I don't know, but you could definitely say you are Thomas Jefferson. I want to have just a conversation with you. You will enact the role of Thomas Jefferson. You will not break character. You will, you know, you will use Thomas Jefferson's literary legacy style to communicate with me, and I will just have a conversation with you. So then you can use ChatGPT as Thomas Jefferson. What would Thomas Jefferson do? Well, let's ask him.
That's a great idea. Maybe we'll do that. We'll do that for the AP DC Liberty Tour.
Yeah,
that'd be a fun idea.
There you go. So when we go to the Jefferson Memorial for the AP DC Liberty Tour, we will pull up ChatGPT and we'll tell her to talk to us as Thomas Jefferson. I'll do a male voice instead of the woman's voice. And then we can all, as a group, have fun asking Thomas Jefferson questions there at the Jefferson Memorial for the APDC Liberty Tour. One of the things, like we all have to overcome things and we kind of become different people. One of the things that I've had to really work with Stephanie on is asking people for money. And that is the hardest.
I don't know my worth.
It's really hard to do. Yeah, because people are difficult. It's difficult to gauge what they think they're worth. Yes. The question of what value do you offer in exchange for your goods or services.
I'm such a giver that I don't place a $sign on my giving.
Well, you know, so I just want to remind people that, you know, you should give me and Steffi money and visit us in Washington, D.C. together. And maybe we'll see Justin May 1st through the 3rd for the AP DC Liberty Tour, and you can find out more information about that at forlibertyshop.com.
And it's a very family-friendly trip, you all.
Yeah.
We've got lots of kids coming, including baby Hazel, because a lot of people are asking, can I bring my kids? Is that okay? Of course. We have kids from, you know, Hazel's going to be, like 8 or 9 months, and then there's like a 2-year-old up through like teenagers.
So join us bring your family. Kids are free. AP's DC Liberty Tour, May 1st through the 3rd. Let's hang out together. Let's get to know one another on a first-name basis. So you'll say things in real life, of course, that you would never say online, and some things that you wouldn't. But join the live recording of the Wake Up America show with us on that Friday morning as an optional upgrade. If you really want to have fun, then get the upgrade of the exclusive Liberty Tour merch package. We sold a couple of those already, guys. We're going to have
We already sold the dinner package, so
dinner package is gone.
Nobody else can have that private dinner with us.
That's really, it's going to be a blast. So mark your calendars. Go to forlibertyshop.com. Remember, if you are a monthly subscriber to us, if you already do a monthly donation to the show, then you guys get a 20% discount, which is a lot of money. So you could sign up for it today, become a monthly subscriber today, get a 20% discount, and save more than you pay in the monthly subscription. So it's a great deal. Yeah. If you want to join us in DC, May 1st to the 3rd. Again, mark your calendars. Do it today. AP's DC Liberty Tour, May 1st to 3rd. And while you're there, grab a Gulf of America tumbler. I'm asking for money, guys. I'm asking for money. I'm asking for Rumble Rants because you know what I learned? You know what I learned in life, Justin? And maybe I've said this to you before, too. If you don't ask, you don't get. You get everything
if you don't
that you
ask,
ask
you don't tell.
That was, yeah, Clinton era.
I remember that.
So if you don't
Here's
ask,
can I tell you my, I'm going to give you my mantra.
Okay,
Here's my mantra.
You get what you ask for in this life. You don't ask for anything, you don't get anything. Go ahead.
That's true. And I'll tell you my mantra. Mine is don't tell other people's money stories for them. Right? Because that, like Stephanie was talking about pricing and stuff, it's like you have your price. And it's like, I will say sometimes as a teacher, I'll be like, oh, well, they can't afford that. That's me telling their story for them. How am I to tell what they can afford and what they can't afford? That's their money. And if they want to work with me as a voice teacher, they'll figure it out and they'll make it work. Because guess what? I got lots of people who do pay it.
Oh, Stephanie has a good story on that. Yes, you know why? Because some guy got mad at us for the prices of our merchandise.
Just the other day.
Tell the story, Stephanie. This is wild.
So we get messages through our shop, and this guy was like, how are you selling T-shirts for, what was it, $32?
Yeah.
And he's like, they should be $20-something. You know, what are you doing? And so I just killed him with kindness. And I was just like, thank you so much for your feedback. We really appreciate it. We try to provide value and good quality in all of our products. Right. And then he's like, and thank you for letting me steal your graphic. And so I guess he stole our design. And now he's going to go make it?
So stupid. Like, literally, you could just go to an AI and tell it to make you a similar design and put it on a T-shirt. Why do you feel the need to try and, like, rip off our designs because you're mad at us because of your price? And this is ostensibly a right-winger. But you know what it is? It's their grabby. They're just like everybody else. You know, just like Marxists. It's envy. $32.99 for a shirt. It's like, bro, that's
actually a really good price. If you go to Kohl's, you're going to find a T-shirt for $32.99.
You're going to find $38.99.
Yesterday, I was thinking about my rates because I think about my rates, and I was like, because if ever anyone would balk at me, like if they were like, oh, that rate is so expensive, my response would be this: do you know how much of that total price I get to actually keep?
Yeah.
Half. I make half of every dollar that I make. Every dollar I bring in, I can only keep half of it. And when I say keep, I mean spend it on the lighting bill. I mean spend it on the gas. I mean spend it on the groceries. I mean spend it on the things the obligations the rent, the things that I have to pay. Half. So when people come at me, I'm like, 30%, Austin, goes off to the government. 30%.
Yeah.
Goodbye, 30% of my income. Gone.
Yeah.
So I'm like, my rates are the way they are, and if you don't like it, take it up with the federal government.
Yeah. No, that's why the representatives were mad when I brought out my products to sit them there at the hearing when I was giving my testimony, which I'm going to download as soon as the show's over and cut it for Monday. But they were mad that I brought out my box of coffee here. I brought out my box of coffee, Justin, and I set it on the table in front of me. And they were upset because they're like, oh, just promoting your products and all this kind of stuff. But the reason why I brought it out was to show them, I was like, look where it says there, Jefferson City, Missouri, this business. I was trying to illustrate to them where the fucking tax dollars come from that pay their salaries. And I was, if I had the time, I would have said, do you realize how difficult it is to not only make something like this, but to then sell it, get it to a customer, but actually to convince someone to buy this? And then do you know what the margin is and how small it is on something like this? And I was like, that is, and then I was, going to taxation is theft and all this stuff.
You did say taxation is theft.
I did say taxation is theft and explain. I said, I didn't have 3 minutes. I had 3 minutes so I could explain the concept of, the morality of taxation. But, they were so offended that I had brought this out, this commerce, these lawyers, these think tankers, because you know why, Justin? Because people despise the merchant class, whether it's the poor.
Yeah, that's right.
Whether it's the poor or whether it's even the mega rich who are these weird socialist Marxist Democrats. It's the middle class, the merchant class, who has to go out and sell and get on the phone. Steffi gets on the phone and says, will you please become a monthly subscriber to the Wake Up America show? Please become a monthly subscriber to our coffee. Will you please buy something that we're going to make, if we're lucky, $4.23 or something on at the end of the day after everything's over? People, And that's partially why they hate the Jews too, because they're a merchant class, right? Like I used the word kulaks earlier to talk about we are kulaks, Justin, because when Stalin,
is that Doctor Who? Oh no, okay.
When Stalin, when the communists, when Stalin took over, a big part of the communist agenda is called dekulakization, because the kulaks are the merchant class. The kulaks are the ones who engage in trade, because typically the people who are the rulers, their money comes from old money. They're aristocrats. They're dukes and duchesses. They've inherited their wealth, right? And then the poor, of course, are poor, so they hate anybody with money. But the self-made class of
the
kulaks,
producing class, Austin. Let's say what it is. The classes that produce, not the taking classes that are at the top, but the producing classes who make things, who do things and make things.
They despise us.
The government doesn't produce anything.
They despise us because people like Elizabeth Warren, they really think that the hand of the market is some mysterious juju force, that there's really something like more complicated going on other than just a simple voluntary trade. Oh, I have coffee, you have dollars. I trade you, thank you. Why do we both say thank you? They think that there's some manipulation going on, that I tricked you into buying my Founding Flavors coffee. Aha, look at that. Look at that soulless capitalist. He brought this into our hallowed temple, Jefferson City, Missouri, the capital. How dare he bring his lowly coffee and his filthy commerce into our holy septum. That is how those people operate, because again, as soon as I got off, Justin, I was done my testimony, some guy got up and they were like, he was there to support the income tax. They're like, where are you from? Washington, D.C. Nobody was there from Missouri, but they didn't want to hear from the people who actually lived there, who actually paid the taxes. They wanted me to shut up and sit down and be quiet.
Well, let's not say the same thing with the people who live, the black people who live in disadvantaged neighborhoods. They don't want to hear what those people have to say. They don't care about what those people have to say. Austin, you've said it before. I'll say it again. I'll repeat it. The government doesn't care about you. They just want your money.
Amen, brother. Amen.
But RFK Jr. does. He cares about our health.
You see, baby?
Yes. Oh,
well,
can they see?
I'm like, a politician caring about you is the same idea of thinking that the stripper likes you. It's so stupid.
She does not like you. $10,000.
She doesn't like
later.
you. She just wants your money.
Steelbringer donated $5. Thank you, Steelbringer.
Oh, gosh.
Can you bless us with something?
I've studied parasocial relationships quite a bit.
Yes.
Where people feel like someone really likes them and cares about them, but they don't.
Yeah.
They don't even know who they are.
Well, that's the celebrity thing when you get like someone comes up to you on the street and it's like they have a relationship with you and you don't know them at all. And that's creepy as hell. It's like, whoa.
Guys, follow in Steelbringer's footsteps. Please do Rumble Rants. We're going into overtime for you guys today. We do that for you. We do it for you. And for our friends over at Positive who want us to tell you about their great campaign. If you've got a dog just like we do, Calvin, our little pup sometimes has his sick days and can be a little miserable, but you don't want to have a situation where they eat something, because sometimes, God, there's what goes in their mouths, and now we got to worry about Hazel because she's just starting that crawl. Mm-hmm. But if you are concerned about potential life-threatening situations for your dogs, it's a good idea to have an emergency kit, just like we have got the fire extinguishers placed all over the house. We've got a first aid kit for ourselves. It's a great idea to have a pet emergency kit as well. Positive, P-A-W, Positive, have critical medications and supplies that can not only keep you out of the veterinary office, but it might actually save your dog's life. So, medications like activated charcoal, styptic powder, and more. Head over to positive.com and use code STUDIO to get 15% off your pet emergency kit. That's positive.com. Use code STUDIO, 15% off your pet emergency kit. Way to go, Positive.
That's
Let's
cool.
be positive.
We needed some of that powder about a year ago, because I remember George was bleeding from his nails.
Yes.
He was walking around the entire house.
Yes. Baby Hazel is getting loud. She wants to talk in the podcast.
Oh, she's chewing on her rubber doggy. Should I let her up here?
Yeah, bring her up. Let's see the baby. It's time. It's Valentine's Day. Come on. Let's see another beautiful redhead.
Baby. I'm also loving this 2-camera view you've got going, Austin. Usually I only see you, so it's great to be able to see my sister-in-law.
Yes, it's the new virtual camera setup. So now everybody can see everybody now. It's Freedom Family Friday. We're the Petersons.
Happy Valentine's. I'm wearing my cheat outfit.
Look at that hair, Justin. Look at that little ginger. That little
I love
ginger.
it.
Did you think
my little Jeanette McDonald?
Justin, did you ever think I would be a ginger daddy?
No, but when I see that face, sometimes I'm like, that is your child.
I know. Tell
that is your
1776
face.
says, AP, don't tell me what to do, but he donated $5 anyway. He blessed us with something. Thank you. He blessed us with something. That little baby Hazel's so pretty. And she doesn't cry all that much. Just when she's hungry, she wants a little food. She's got her favorite toy, which is a cute little French bulldog. So cute.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's like some off-brand toy from the Sophie the giraffe toy, and it's a French bulldog.
Yes.
Rubber chewy.
Yeah, little baby Hazel loves her little Frenchie. Her little Frenchie is her favorite toy. And Justin, I mean, I think we're like hours away from her doing like her first official crawl.
Oh yeah.
She's done some cute little some
I
crawls.
mean, you got to get that on tape. You know, I'll never forget the day that Jody walked the first time in the North Room. It was like,
yeah.
do you remember that? Mm-hmm, Took her first steps, and it was like we were screaming. And I don't even think Mom was in the room. I think we're like, Mom, the baby's walking. Like we were just like freaking out. That's such a happy thing, you know. That's such a happy life.
When Hazel
thing.
sees something she wants, she doesn't necessarily crawl towards it, but she kind of finds a way, you know, to make her way over to it somehow. And usually it's things, of course, that we don't want her to have. She seems
Like
to
dog toys. She really likes dog toys.
gravitates towards the things she's not supposed to have, right?
Yeah.
You know, so we're going to have to kind of keep her corralled for sure. We've already started putting up fences and things. So this is how they tame the West. And this is how you tame a baby. You lock him away in a cage. Hey, Justin, it's been a great show today.
Yeah.
Do you think we covered everything and anything? God, our whole psychology of our family, Valentine's Day,
I'm going to have to go refill my brain. I'm going to have to go lie down for a little bit. Refresh the engine here.
I love sharing my family with my audience. It just feels like part of making America healthy again is the exercise that we do. It's eating healthy, but it's also the psychology. And I feel as if, Justin, my mental health has never been better because I have people around me who I love. And I love you guys. Happy Valentine's Day.
Do something fun. I'm going to watch some romantic movies today. And I'm going to go, oh, I love it.
It's great.
I used to watch romantic movies, but then once I found love, real love, I didn't feel I needed to watch them anymore. It's so weird.
Interesting.
Yeah, I was so fascinated with dreaming about love because I didn't really have the real thing, but now I have it.
Now we watch Dragon Tits, a.k.a. Game of Thrones.
Oh. I was like, is that anime?
Dragon Tits. Hey guys, we're the Petersons. I'm Austin. That's Justin over there. That's my wife Stephanie. That's my baby Hazel, and we are the Peterson family. And we love liberty. AP for liberty, JP for liberty, Steffi P for liberty, and Hazel P for liberty, baby P for liberty. That's our family. We love America, we love freedom, and kind of frankly, we like a lot of what Donald Trump is doing these days. So I'm fine with making America healthy again. Broad strokes, I'm on board. Justin, anything else you want to say to the good people of
You said
Rumble?
something about stroking. I don't know. I lost my train of thought. Stroking. You'd
Well,
be
it is
stroking.
also the stroking holiday for, you know.
Come on, Clarence Carter. Clarence Carter. I'll be stroking. Have a great one. No, my Substack just came out about 30 minutes ago. I write Justin Peterson at .substack.com. I write about vocal pedagogy and training. I'm starting to get a little bit braver and sort of insert some political things, but not much. I want to keep a raw. I, unlike the left, want to keep a broad readership of my blog. So I try not to, offend the right or the left because I'm like, I want all the people's dollars.
Good point. Good point. No offense. Sounds like some commie gobbledygook. Buy our products here in America. Boston Harbor Black at forlibertyshop.com. Justin, we'll see you later. Love you. We'll read your Substack. I'm sure it's already in my email inbox. Have a good one. Bye bye.
Love you. Be free.
Bye. It's been a great Family Friday show. T-Mill22 over in the chat, man. We did everything today. We talked about everything. We even had some technical problems when we went long, and people were really generous. So thanks so much to everybody. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Are you uplifted? Are you not entertained? Are you feeling as if like we made your day better? Well then, do us a favor, guys. Shop where you eat here at forlibertyshop.com, guys. Check out our delicious Boston Harbor Black, a delicious English breakfast tea, tons of other teas, as well as coffee. Stephanie, do you want to say something? You sounded like you want to.
Oh, I just said be free.
Be free, and we will see you guys on Monday on the Wake Up America Show. We're back on X, baby. We're back. See you guys on Monday on the Wake Up America Show. Exit through the gift shop at forlibertyshop.com. My heart goes out to you on Valentine's Day. Tired of spending your hard-earned money on woke corporations that don't share your pro-freedom values? Fed up with sipping liberal lattes and progressive cappuccinos? Introducing Founding Flavors from AP for Liberty Shop. Get your day started with Washington's Revolutionary Roast. As robust and principled as the man himself, this blend is the shot of energy heard round the world. Or maybe you want to taste the fervor of freedom with Adams's Patriotic Perk. It's as dynamic and balanced as the U.S. Constitution, sure to awaken your spirit of liberty. For the aficionados, we've got the Jeffersonian Java, a complex mix of flavors that speaks volumes about your refined tastes. And don't forget Betsy's Liberty Lullaby, our decaf option, crafted with the same care and dedication Betsy Ross put into our Star-Spangled Banner. This blend lets you enjoy the taste of freedom anytime without losing sleep. No woke beans here, folks. Just pure, patriotic, pro-freedom flavors brewed with love for liberty. So why compromise your principles for a cup of coffee? Stand up for your values, perk up your patriotism, and start your day the American way. Get your founding flavors at apforlibertyshop.com.